Hi y'all, good morning from Sandusky, Ohio. It is my final day here fishing on Sandusky Bay. We got the sun coming up over the horizon there. 5 minutes ago, if you'd been out here then, you would have seen an awesome sunrise, but I'm running a little behind today. But we're gonna get right to it right now. I'm gonna put you all here in the chest while we get baited up. And today, and first off, take a look at all those fish right there on the screen. I don't know what those are, but I was seeing that same kind of life yesterday and tore them up right in here in this area. So we're gonna hopefully have us a good day catching some big fish right here. But what we're gonna do today, we're gonna put a few baits or a couple baits side by side. We've got some Tyson chicken breast here, and we've got a bag full of shad, threadfin, and gizzards. And we're gonna do one rod of each to see how they perform against each other. I'm not a big fan of using chicken breast for bait. Anybody that's followed my channel for any length of time, you've heard me talk about it. I think it's a great small catfish bait, but big fish, catching big fish on it consistently, you know, it's just, people do it. You catch a big fish occasionally, but to do it consistently, yeah, it's just not something I have a lot of confidence in. But up here on Sandusky Bay, where we're going after big channel cats, it's a lot more effective. So we're gonna throw it out there. We'll put on some shad next. We're gonna fish them a few feet apart, side by side, same area while we're anchored, and we're gonna see which bait outperforms the other. And if one of them's really whooping the other, we'll switch both rods over. Now I'll show you this rig here as we get this one. Both rods here have the same tackle set up on them, so I'll be able to show you that here as we get this next shad put on. Let's take us one of these. This is a probably what, 4-incher right there. I'm just going to take and snip the tail off, get it bleeding a little bit. We'll take this number 1 sized thin wire shiner hook, hook it just up under the gill plate out the nose there. Got that on a 20-pound fluorocarbon leader. That goes up to a float, which we're going to slide down our line just a little bit. That goes up then to a dragging rig, to 15-pound braid, Catfish Sumo light tackle catfish rod, and a Daiwa BG 4000 size reel. Now let's throw this one out over here, and we'll be set. I've got the dragging rigs on. I know we're anchor fishing right now. We've got things cast out. But I've got these dragging rigs set up because, well, honestly, they just worked better yesterday. Quite honestly, I had started out my trip yesterday, which would have been the last video for regular viewers. I started out dragging, and dragged for probably an hour before I got the first bite, and busted 2 fish back to back, got a double. So I dropped anchor there, and I didn't want to switch rigs over, so just cast out the dragging rigs. Started catching fish, one after another, had an awesome session. Well, I went, got some lunch. I come back out later in the day, tried some more dragging. Nothing going on. I tried suspending baits. I got a couple fish, but couldn't hardly buy one. So when I had my suspend rigs tied on, Carolina rigs, I tried a couple more anchor spots. Just couldn't really get anything going, so I put my dragging rigs back on. I dragged a little more, hit another anchor spot with the damn dragging rigs, and started catching fish again. So I don't know, maybe it's something with the float, having it elevated up off the bottom. If that was the case, you would have thought these suspend fishing rigs, when I'm suspending, would do well because they would be up off the bottom. But nevertheless, regardless of the reason why the dragging rigs cast out while we're anchored, regardless of why that worked so much better yesterday, who knows, but it did. So just roll with it, right? So I'm back out here today. I'm going to fish the spot. Boy, we had something splash right here beside us. We got a fish coming up and taunting us. Probably one of them right there on the screen. I'm going to fish the spot today that I had the most success on yesterday. And we're going to roll with it. This is my last session up here. I'd come in town night before last, fished yesterday. We'll hit today, first thing this morning, and then I'm going to roll out of here, head back to Tennessee when we're done here. So I'm going to put y'all in the chest. I'm going to leave the camera rolling again this morning, just bring you all with us on a real fishing trip here. You'll see everything from now when we're casting baits out to when I roll out of here in 4 hours or so. I'm going to fish till, I think it's about a little after 6 a.m. right now. I'm going to fish till about 10. And then time I get packed up and get off the water, stop at a gas station, hopefully be on the interstate rolling about 11 o'clock. That's my hope. So I got an 8-hour drive to get home, so I'd like to get home before dark if I could. So here, let's do this too. So I've got all these shad, and these are what was left over from yesterday's trip. We've still got a bunch of bait here. So what I'm going to do, we're gonna get rid of some of this bait right here, right fast, y'all. And what we're gonna do with it, when I say get rid of it, basically what I'm gonna do is just cut it up. We're gonna sit here while we wait on that first fish to bite. We're gonna cut some of these shad and just kind of boost our calls a little bit. There's, up here on Sandusky Bay, this is on Lake Erie, one of the Great Lakes, you have well, these shad are in rough shape too. These things are about rotted. If the chicken outperforms the shad today, they ain't that old either, but shad just don't keep very well. Even on ice, when you got them in a bag and keeping them from soaking in water, they can get kind of mushy on you quick. When I'm using shad, I really like to try to use it as quickly as possible, same day or next day most of the time. But anyway, up here on Sandusky Bay, you get, I guess it's like a tide effect. The wind gets the water moving, and so it blows a certain way. You get the current, if you will, going a certain way for a while, and then it'll shift, and it'll go back the other way. So right now, from seeing the way the kayak's positioned, seeing which way these things are kind of sinking as we're dropping them down, I'm going to assume that the current is going toward the railroad bridge over there. And where we're at, we are, give me just a second here, I'll show you. That's good. We'll let that be. Just kind of get some scent in the water and hopefully bring some fish in. We'll throw our chicken in there. All right, let me stick this back in the cooler and I'm going to show you where we're at. All right, now we're in business. And listen, if we're not doing any good here in a little while, we'll give this spot, with as much life as I'm seeing here, and that's what it was like yesterday, I'm thinking there's some fish here. We'll give it 30 minutes to an hour to see if they'll turn on, see if we can get bit, and if we do, hell, I'll sit here all daggone morning if we're getting bit. If not, then we'll go to plan B. But anyhow, this area, it's between the bridges. So you've got the highway bridge over here, and you got the railroad bridge over there, and there's a stretch of water in between. And it's kind of nice in a way because you can kind of, depending on which way the wind's blowing, you can kind of get out of it at times. And up here, if you're going to fish Sandusky Bay, you got to look at the wind forecast. I mean, it's imperative. And that's why I'm up here when I am, because I wanted to come up here in the month of June when our fish are on the nest at home. I wanted to come up here, but I didn't pencil in dates in stone to come up here because I wanted to be able to try to just look at the forecast and say, okay, I got a couple days of light winds, now I'm going. And that's what happened. I was looking at the forecast we had yesterday and today with minimal wind, and we're up here rolling with it. But this area between the bridges, there's a lot of fish caught. It's a very popular area as far as guide services and all that fishing through here. But over here on this side and over here behind me, there's actually some people fishing off there, off the bank. you've got this kind of, I don't know what it was. I'm not familiar enough with this area to know, but anyway, you've got this land strip, and now it's just open water here. And when you drag through here, you'll see your rod tips, and you can see the gravel. Like, there's a lot of stuff here, like rocks and stuff like that for fish to relate to in this area, in the stretch between the two pieces of land here. And I've done well in this area for, you know, big fish. So anyway, we're set up here. There is a launch that I used over basically right in the middle between this land strip and that railroad bridge. There is a boat launch over there. Now, it ain't free and it ain't cheap even. It's $15 a day to launch over there. Highway robbery if you ask me, but it's convenient, especially if you're in a kayak and your range is very limited. Paid $15, safe area to park the car, and so, you know, I can come right out here. If I'd got here about 5 minutes earlier, y'all would have got to see a nice sunrise this morning, but again, running a little behind, a little sleepy today. I would hope to have gotten another good night's sleep at the old Comfort Inn, but just another one of those nights, man. People were loud and out and about till way past my bedtime over there, and the walls are paper thin in that place. So you might want to choose, if you come up here, you might want to choose a different hotel to stay at than the Comfort Inn where I've been this week. It's a decent enough hotel and the price is good. It's got ample parking there if you pull in a trailer, but boy, them walls in that place, paper thin, man. You hear everything going on in the room next to you and across the hall and everything else. But nevertheless, it's been a good trip, y'all. My morning session yesterday, which I filmed, went well. I mean, other than the first hour, the first hour I got on the water, we dragged up this, we got one right here on the left. Hell, I'm turning around trying to show you what's going on behind me, and the rod's going down in front of me. This is on the Shad. All right, number one, buddy. What are we, a few minutes in here? All right. And we baited this rod last. So this is real fast action. That's awesome, man. I hope it's going to be on like Donkey Kong, like it was on this spot for us yesterday. That would be the bee's knees, man. Won't hurt my feelings one bit. I come up here to catch fish and hopefully catch a bunch of them. Yeah, we got old mean-looking channel cat right here, buddy. My regular viewers know I hate channel cats, at least back home anyway. But up here on Sandusky Bay, where they get huge, I seem to tolerate them a little more. I've actually, as much as it embarrasses me to say this, I've actually come to enjoy coming up here and fishing for these things. So there you go, folks. You got it on video, me saying I'm enjoying catching channel cats. This right here is a pretty good one, buddy. This is a nice start to the day. This is a fun sizer for sure. He ain't got a lot of weight to him, but I mean, that's a 30-inch fish. My kayak's 36 inches wide, so that's a nice one right here. Let's see where that hook's at. I'm gonna put my finger in it. Okay. Get that hook out of him, y'all. Lord Almighty. Get it together here, folks. We starting out fumbling around. Give me that hook. These things don't want to calm down. Goodness gracious, that hook's in there good. Oh, Lord Almighty, I can't get to, there it is, Lordy days, I didn't think we was getting a dang hook out. Fish, you making me look incompetent right here. First thing, let's set up a front camera, man. I'll hold the first one up. Get us a front camera shot anyway. Sorry, y'all, I'm sniffling in the camera. My allergies been going haywire up here, just like this fish is going haywire. The fish, calm it down. There we go. Get out from that net now. I've got his fin hung in the net. We're in bad shape, y'all. There he is. Get on. Lordy days, I'll fist pump the first one though. That's a nice start. Just a few minutes into the trip. Let's get another bait out there quick, fast, and in a hurry, buddy. We're gonna try to catch us some fish today and hopefully get some big ones and lots of them. That's what I'm hoping for. Will it come to fruition? I don't know. Lord almighty, we in bad shape today, folks. I said yesterday, I'm getting rid of this net when I get home. The netting's too big. It gets caught on everything in the kayak. We're gonna go back to my old net. But before we do anything, before we go anywhere, do anything, we're gonna get another shad and get on that hook. Yesterday, it was my small baits, these little thread fins in here, that was, that one's about rotted right there, it seems like. But it was the thread fins that we were doing the best on. The bigger shad that I started with didn't really get much attention, but when I switched over to the smaller baits, that's when we started really whacking them. Slide our float back down a little bit there. Okay, let's put this on, same as we did the other one, and cast it back out. Still got our chicken over there untouched. Now, I'm not casting these far. You can see I'm just 20 feet, 30 feet in front of us there. I really want to be, hitting these rocks in between these two land masses here. Where was I at? I was telling y'all, those of you that didn't watch the last video, I was telling you what we done. So, yesterday I started out dragging, and I come up here on this side of the shore, basically dragging my way from about 4 feet deep all the way out to here. And that's when I caught 2 fish back to back, just boom, boom. Real nice channel kids. And I'd seen a bunch of life just like we're seeing today, just the screen just lit up. So we dropped anchor here. And that's when we started catching them, just one after another after another. And I ended up finishing out that session here. Well, I fished till the battery went dead, and then I trolled a little while before I went and got some lunch and then come back. But the point I was going to get with all that was like this area here, yesterday morning, man, we just whacked them. Yesterday afternoon, even trying different things, trying different spots, I went over there on the other side of the railroad bridge, hit some areas out through there. Like, I caught fish, and I got a couple more good ones yesterday. But I never found another bite like yesterday morning, where it was just an abundance of fish. So coming back out today, our final session here, I was like, I want to put our time in to where I had the best success yesterday. Initially yesterday, and I started out the video talking about it, what I thought I would do, my plan coming up here at least, was I was going to drag baits yesterday and then suspend baits today. And I kind of wanted to just cover water, just troll, and see how each technique did against each other on back-to-back days. Would one technique produce more fish? Would one produce bigger fish? Et cetera, et cetera. But once we got on the water yesterday and wasn't doing worth a crap dragging, and then saw the fish, anchored down, and started just whacking them, well, then I modified my plans a little bit. And, yesterday afternoon, when I came back out, like I said, I was trying some different things, but I just couldn't get on a really good bite. I really couldn't make anything happen with the suspended baits. And that's unfortunate, because y'all know I love suspending baits. But like even yesterday morning, it was toward the end of that trip. At one point, we had one bait casted out, and I tied on a suspend rig here. And still, the rig that was cast out was just outperforming the suspend rig. I think, what was it? Hell, 5 to 1, 10 to 1, somewhere in between that. I mean, it was a lot. There was a lot of fish on the rig cast out versus, I think we got one on the suspended rig after I switched it over. So it just wasn't working out. And, sometimes it's like that. I mean, sometimes you're going to have fish that are, I won't say picky, but they're going to be more inclined to bite either a certain type of bait, a certain cut of bait. They're going to be more easily triggered by a certain technique. Sometimes they want a bait moving. Sometimes they want it set and still. Sometimes your bait needs to be on bottom. Sometimes it needs to be elevated off bottom. Like, every day is different. You just got to kind of try to piece together the puzzle. But sometimes if you figure out something, if you get on a pattern or a bite, sometimes it'll be the same thing at roughly the same time in the same area until something changes. Weather conditions, water conditions, moon phase, etc., etc. As long as the conditions stay the same, you'll oftentimes get the same bite for, could be a few days, could be a week. Depends on the season and what's going on. Spring and fall, well, and really winter too, you get a lot more weather changes, right? Summertime, of course we're into June now, and in the summertime, the weather kind of seems to level out a little more, right? Like, yeah, you might have maybe some afternoon pop-up storms, but it's pretty consistent day to day. Water conditions, pretty consistent day to day. When you get in the winter, in the spring, you're getting more rain, you're getting more fronts coming through, the water level's rising one time, and next time you go fishing, maybe it's falling. If you're fishing a river, your flow rate is going to vary in those situations depending on how much rain you're getting. Like, there's just a lot more variables to take into effect. Wintertime, spring, but you get summer into early fall, weather kind of levels out. And so when you do get on a bite, you can oftentimes replicate it until something does change. So I'm hoping today, and it certainly, I mean, we started out very quickly here getting a fish. I'm hoping today will be more of the same on this spot at this time period. We'll see. Now, like I said, if we sat here an hour, let's say, and things ain't going our way, well, we got our dragon rigs tied on. Hell, we can take off. I mainly just want to catch some fish. Now, a friend of mine, I don't say he lives up here. He lives in Ohio. His name's Brandon, Fins and Talons YouTube channel there. He's got a part of the year he's doing falconry stuff, which is awesome. He captures these hawks and trains them to hunt. The other part of the year he's fishing. And so he's a good fisherman too. And the last Sandusky kayak catfishing tournament up here, Kayak tournament, he finished second place. And he won over $1,000. And so I had messaged him to tell him I was coming up here. And so he hit me up last night, wanted to know how I'd done yesterday. And he ended up telling me where he got on the fish at in a tournament. And I told him, I was like, man, don't tell me that, because I'm going to burn that place to the ground when I put it on video and put it in front of a few thousand people. And he's like, no, it's cool. He didn't mind, which is nice. But I still, they've got a tournament coming up here on the 20th. I may come back for, I don't know. We'll see what the weather's looking like then. If it's going to be a real windy day, I'll probably not make the trip back. But if the conditions are looking good, especially if I could fish a couple days, I may come back up for the tournament. But we'll see. That's TBD, to be determined, as the kids say. But anyway, I thought about going and trying out the area he told me about, because, I mean, he caught some big fish there for that tournament, and he thought they'd still be there. But I just didn't want to do that. I didn't want to, because this video that I'm filming today is probably going to come out right before that tournament. So I'd hate to go fish his spot, put it on video, and that video come out right before the tournament, and he show up out there on tournament day. I assume he's going back there to that area, and then it'd be covered up with people, you know, that maybe saw it on video. So I didn't want to go try that today, but at some point in the future, I probably will hit that area. It may not be, you know, we'll see if I come back for the tournament or not, but maybe next year. I could see this Sandusky Bay being a place I come to. I'm granted, I've come up here the last, I think this is my third year coming up here. I think. Third or fourth year. Time runs together, folks. Time keeps passing by. But it's become something I kind of enjoy. I hate channel cats. And I've told you all this, regular viewers, forever, man. I hate them back home. I'd just assume never catch another channel cat again as long as I live at home, because they're just, every time you catch one, they're like this. They're yay big. They steal your baits. They strip your hooks clean. And you never catch any with any size to them at home. Like, I think I said it on video yesterday. Every fish I caught yesterday, on and off video, was bigger than any channel cat I've ever caught at home. Like every one. Even the smaller channel cats I caught yesterday were still bigger than anything. That one we got here a few minutes ago, bigger than any channel cat I've ever gotten at home. Like, we just don't grow them that big. I mean, sure, listen, as statistically speaking, there's got to be a few really large channel cats in my home waters. I mean, they're out there somewhere. But I think they just kind of get out-competed for food with the blue cats that really dominate the waterways at my house. Now, up here in Sandusky Bay, in Lake Erie, there are no blue cats. This is just channel cats. And I think maybe there's some flatheads in here, although I've never, and the times I've come up here, I've never caught a flathead. But I think there are some in here. But there's no blues, which is honestly kind of surprising that there's not. Now, granted, they're not native. Blue cats aren't native to Lake Erie. But you and me both know how people are. And people love their blue cats. And I could see some, what's the word I'm looking here for? I don't say, I guess it would be kind of unethical. I could see some people, guys in boats, it's got a big live well. I could see some guys being like, you know what? Lake Erie needs some blue cats. Let's just stock this thing ourselves. And maybe they put a few in at a time. And you get a handful of people doing that, putting in a few fish at a time, they will eventually populate. And so I'm honestly surprised that hasn't happened. Just knowing how people are, I've experienced that a little bit back home. At least I've heard through the grapevine. And so I'll give you an example. So, like, one of the areas I fish back home, It's called Melton Hill. Melton Hill Lake, Melton Hill Reservoir. It's part of the Clinch River system there. It's impounded by a dam, but still. That body of water has channel cats in it, has flatheads in it, has striped bass in it. When you catch a blue cat, they are in there. When you catch one, and I don't catch very many, but when I do, it's huge every time. But you never catch any small ones in there. And I've had conversations in the past about that. Like, why is it, one, you don't catch very many, and when you do, it's always a tank. It's never a little dink. Like, where are the small fish? Well, from what I've been told, the blue cats don't reproduce well in there. And I'm not sure exactly why that is. I don't know if it's I honestly don't know. The clear water, the water temps, like I don't know. I don't know why they don't produce there, or even if that's even true for that matter. It's just what I've heard. But what I have heard, and I'm inclined to believe is true, is that there have been some people in my area that have caught big fish on Fort Loudon and Watts Bar and taken and placed them in Melton Hill to try to create their own little private, I won't say private, but you know, it's a public body of water and it's a big body of water, but try to create a big trophy cat, blue cat fishery that doesn't get talked about. It's not really known. Nobody goes to Melton Hill to catfish. Okay, nobody does that. Hell, I mean, even with those big fish in there, if I go catfishing on Melton Hill 10 times, I'm gonna get skunked about 5 of them, and the other remaining 5 times, probably 3 of them, I'm gonna get channel catted. Meaning I'm just going to catch a few small channel cats. And then maybe 1 or 2 trips out of 10, I'm going to catch a big blue. Like, statistically speaking, I don't do much catfishing there because it ain't worthwhile for me to invest that kind of time in it. And it seems to be the fall has when I have done the best for blues and flatheads there. But if you told me I had to go there today and catch some big blues, I don't know if I could do it. Honestly, I may get skunked. Like, it's a crapshoot at best. But I've been told that people with the boats and big live wells have taken fish from Fort Loudon and Watts Bar and put in there. And that makes sense to me, at least logically, of why when you do catch a blue in there, it's huge. And you never catch any small ones. That makes sense, right? Because they're probably not taking the dinks and putting in there. They're taking the big ones and putting in there. So, you know, ethically, listen, you shouldn't be transporting fish from one body of water to another. I'm sure there's laws against doing that. I'm sure if somebody got busted doing that, they'd probably throw them in the slammer and throw away the key type deal. Like, it's, you know, you shouldn't do that. But it gets done. You know how it is? Like, you and me, we both know that the only laws are only paid attention to if they're enforced. And game wardens back home, I've said it a bunch of times, man, they're like Bigfoot. You hear stories of their existence, but nobody's ever actually seen one. So who's going to enforce it? And especially when people are going to do something against the grain, if you will. If somebody's going to break the law, it ain't going to happen in broad daylight. It ain't going to happen in normal business hours. It's going to happen in the middle of the night. And there ain't going to be no law out there in the middle of the night. You don't see law during the day. They for damn sure ain't going to work overtime, be out there pulling a night shift. So them kind of things are going to happen. And I'm surprised that, and maybe it has happened up here. Maybe it has at some point. Oh, we got our chicken getting messed with. I thought something gave it a little tug, but I'm looking right into the sun right there. I've had to put my sunglasses on. It's going to be a bright, sunny day out here. Whatever it is, he's apparently dropped it. He left it be. But, I mean, I don't know. Maybe people have stuck some blue cats in here, and maybe they just didn't do well, or maybe there's not enough of them to find each other and reproduce. Maybe they can't reproduce in here. I don't know. But nevertheless, this is a fantastic channel cat fishery. Lots of fish in here. Some really big fish in here. And man, you look at the tournament scores, it's pretty damn good up here. Like, it's yesterday, as good a session as I had yesterday, I would not have cashed in the last tournament they had. I wouldn't have sniffed a paycheck. So that's just how it is, man. You fish them tournaments. Of course, the kayak tournaments go by length. They take your 5 longest fish. And I think that last tournament, man, I think like 1st to 5th place, there was only an inch or so separation. But it comes down to who's going to be on an area that has the... Like it seems like you'll start getting fish all around the same size length. And you'll get somebody that's getting 33, 34-inch fish, and you'll have another fella in another area getting 31, 32-inch fish. And they're close. You know, they're very close in length. But it's that extra inch or two difference is going to make the difference in cashing a check or not. And so you need, if you're going to be competitive in one of these tournaments up here, like you got to be on some of the better quality fish. And yesterday, of course, I didn't bring a measuring board. I just don't care. If I'm not fishing in a tournament, I ain't fooling, lugging around no damn measuring board. We're just up here fun fishing. We're having a good time. On tournament day, when it matters, we'll lug that thing around. But I don't typically care. I can kind of judge fish. It's length. I can't judge a weight because I never weigh them. And I talked about that yesterday. But you know, lengthwise, like that last fish we caught, I can look at it on the floor of the kayak and say, okay, well, my kayak's 36 inches wide. How does this fish compare in length from gunnel to gunnel? And like, okay, well, that one's roughly 30 inches, or okay, well, that one's the length or the width of the kayak here, so it's 36. Like, you can kind of judge a little bit. You can get a ballpark estimate on length just by looking and comparing the width of the kayak to the fish. But I don't care. I just don't. That kind of thing, I've just never cared. I know a lot of people do. It's about breaking their personal best, whether it's length or weight or most number of fish they've caught in a day, whatever personal goal they have, that's what it's about for them. And good for them. You know, I don't care. Whatever floats your boat, whatever toots your horn, man, hey, you do you. But for me, I just never cared about that. For me, the thing that floats my boat is the enjoyment of catching the fish, the fun of it, the excitement, that adrenaline rush you get when the rod goes down. You're reeling in a fish. You don't know what you got or how big it is. Like, that's how I get my kicks. If the fish turns out to be really big, great. Well, okay, our chicken's getting messed with here. Got him. We're 1-to-1, folks. We got one on each now. All right. Where we at on time now here? Well, it took a little longer to get this second bite than it did the first, didn't it? But still, that's 2 fish here in short order. Yesterday, first hour, we didn't have any bites. So now we done got 2. This is actually the smallest one I've caught. Smallest one I've caught in 2 days. We don't need a net on you, at least. No, he even unhooked himself too. What a courteous fish. Unhooked himself. Here, let me get hold of you. Let me show you off to the people there. Back home, we could use you as bait. Put that thing out there and get him eaten by something even bigger. Let's see what our... Yeah, let's go ahead and... It still looks good, but... Oh, we're doubled. Let's see if he's still on. Yeah. Back to back, buddy. Not a double, I don't guess, since we already let the other one go, but this one here is going to be a little bigger than the last, although that ain't saying much. That other one, he at least set the bar low for any other fish we catch today. Nice though, back to back. You know, it's going to be interesting. I said yesterday when it took an hour to find the fish, maybe we were on fish and they just wasn't active and they turned on about an hour after sunrise. Where are we now? We're about an hour after sunrise. Maybe it's a timing thing. Who knows? We'll see. If the bite turns on from here, I guess we'll know. Or if this just happened to be two random fish coming through. Here, I'll tell you what. This one's definitely a little better. This one's definitely a little better than the other one. He's still pulling, buddy. You know what I want to do though? Since y'all ain't gonna do it for me. Yeah, that's a good channel cat right there. I want to put it back in the rod holder. And here's what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna go ahead and get us another piece of chicken on here. Cast that other rod out before we land this. That way we can try to be as efficient as possible. It's gonna just take a piece of it here. I ain't cutting it in any specific chunk or shape or anything like that. We're just gonna get it out there. And yesterday the smaller bait worked better than the bigger bait. And that was true even in my afternoon session. I tried some of the bigger shad again, and I just couldn't get anything going on it. They wanted a smaller bait yesterday. All right, get that out. Now, let's go ahead and grab us another. Pick you out a shad here, folks. We got a bunch of options. Let's get this one right there. That looks like a winner. That'll be our next one. We'll put on this one after we land him, which you could have already done. If you was a fishing partner worth a damn, here I have brought y'all 8 hours up here to Ohio, and I can't even get you to bait a hook for me or net a fish. Nice. Nice, folks, we got him. Yeah, this one here is another one that's comparable in length to the first one there. It's a good one. Okay. I like catching them back to back like that. That's fun. I like catching them two at a time. We're fishing just 2 rods today. I didn't even bring my bait rods. I brought them with me yesterday to do some trolling there with the crankbaits, but I didn't bring them out today because when I roll out of here after we're done catfishing, I'm heading home as he tries to bite my thumb off. Come here, fish. Let's hold you up, give you a little front camera time. There we go, y'all. Nice. See ya. All right, no time to waste on that fish's picture. He got his moment of fame. He's had his day made. Now let's make our day by getting another bait and catching his friends and family. We can catch his arch enemies too, I don't care. I just want to catch some fish. Make the most of the time we got left. This trip, man, I tell you, when you when you're on the interstate and you're driving somewhere and it feels like time's just creeping by, like you just can't get where you're going. But then, once you actually get where you're going, it seems like time just flies. It feels like I just got here, although, granted, a 2-day trip ain't really much time anyway, but it's all I could do. Tomorrow, the wind is supposed to be ridiculous up here, and so we had a 2-day window, and we're making the most of it here. All right. Got that done. Let's get y'all back here in the chest again. Yeah, I think we're just going to go ahead and just keep sitting here a little while, folks. I'm impressed with two of the fish's size here. That one, well, it was nice of him to stop by, I guess, but the other two, pretty good. And you listen, if I had brought my heavy gear up here, my gollywhopper rods, I mean, I've brought them in years past, but these light tackle rods, when you've got fish this size, man, you feel every head shake. Like I'm really into the light tackle gear. I'm really into it. I'm about to a point where if it wasn't for tournaments, I don't know that I'd use heavy gear anymore. And I know, listen, it's going to cost me some fish. It has cost me some fish. I've broke some off on the lighter line. It happens. You know, like this gear here, I mean, it's 15-pound braid. I've got, on the dragging rigs, I've been running on my suspend rigs, I've been running 15-pound fluoro. We got 20-pound on these dragging rigs just because I knew dragging across the rocks and stuff, you're going to have a little bit more abrasion. But I'm trying to play around with the lighter tackle dragging rigs a little more. But, you know, my heavy gear, I'm running 80-pound leaders, big thick wire hooks. I've developed a ton of confidence in these thin wire hooks. Small, thin, I mean, it's very counterculture to what you see in the catfishing world. Most of these catfish guys, and myself included in the past, you're running hooks that you would catch sharks with for catfish. But I've caught a bunch of big fish now on the little #1 size thin wire shiner hook. And as long as your drag is set appropriately, you're not going to bend the hook, you're not going to, honestly, you know when hooks I've broken? It's when I'm using my pliers, and if a fish is hooked like behind the jawbone or something, and I'm trying to use them pliers to get it out, I've broke a couple hooks doing that. But I've not had a fish break me yet. I've not had a fish bend a hook, and that's because the drag is set appropriately. Now, if you're using heavy line, well, if you're trying to use them thin wire hooks, you're going to be limited on how heavy a line you can use anyway, because you won't be able to thread it through the eye of the hook. But as long as your drag is set, you ain't going to have issues. But if you are using heavier gear and you've got that drag locked down and a big fish hits and slams it and just going with it, you're gonna potentially bend it or break a hook. Most likely you're going to break the line. And that's why I'm forced to carry a net with me, because you hook a big fish and you grab your line to go down and reach and grab that fish, and he throws or thrashes or rolls or whatever, that's when you're at the greatest risk of breaking your line. Now, when I was using the heavy gear, I didn't care. I never carried a net. Didn't have to. I just put a glove on, reached down and grabbed the fish, because I could grab hold of my leader. And with that 80-pound line, it didn't matter how much he thrashed or tried to roll, he wasn't going to snap it. But with the lighter gear, you got to be more careful. You got to be more cautious with it. But I've caught enough big fish now, and for the most part, like, I would have assumed prior to getting into the light tackle stuff that when you hook a real monster, it's going to take an hour to get the thing in. But that's not really been the case. With blue cats, they're not marathon runners. They're sprinters. So like you're gonna get a nice fight. You're gonna get a hard run. We're gonna get a run right here on the left. Look here. We got another one going down on the shad. Okay, we're 3-1 now. Shad to chicken. For those of you keeping score at home, y'all gonna have to do the mathematics for me today. I'll never keep up. 3-1 though right now. Yeah. This one here feels like it's going to be a decent fish too. He's coming right at us, but when he goes to pull away, he feels pretty good. Yeah, there he goes. We were making quick work of him at first because he was mostly coming at us. Our little half-rotted shad here getting it done. I like my shad fresh. Fresh as can be. It gets soft the older it gets. It gets mushy. These here, they're definitely at the end. I wasn't gonna take them home with me anyway. We're gonna throw out whatever we got left today, but even still, if I was up here another day, I'd still throw these out and get something different if I was sticking around. Boy, this one's wanting to stay down now. This is gonna be a little better one here, I think. He's at least fighting like it anyway. He's got that light action rod bent in half, buddy. Let's get you up here and let's see you fish. At least we'll get a look at you before you go back down. I don't know if I mentioned it. We're 13 feet deep here. I don't know if I mentioned that before. Actually, you know what? This fish here, I don't think he's going to be as big as some of them others. He fought better. I don't think he's going to be quite the size of them others. He just had some get up and go to him. I wish I did too, but I stayed at the Comfort Inn 2 nights in a row fishing. If you stayed there, you'd understand. Here, let me hold you in the light. At least people can get a look at you. You know, you wanting to flop. Oh, ornery thing. Okay. There's another one for us. You can see here though, I mean, look, there's all kinds of life down there. Is that cats? Is that drum? Some kind of bait? Who knows? But I mean, it's just lit up down there. Tons of life through here. Let's get another bait on and I'm gonna finish telling you what I was telling you. See if we can find a that was a little bigger than I want. I'd like to find, I think that one right there looks perfect. Yeah, it's a little smaller. Of course, yesterday, them really small ones was the ones getting it done. There, I think's what we're looking for. Yeah, one about that size. Snip a tail off, get it bleeding a little bit. We'll send it back out. But no, I was saying, prior to me getting into the light tackle fishing, I would have thought you hook into a monster, it's going to take an hour plus. But in reality, these fish, even the big cats, big blues or whatever, like they're going to go hard for a short time and then they're going to tire out, even on the light tackle. So I've had some really big fish that have taken just a few minutes. Now it's going to take longer, of course, than with the heavy gear because you can't crank them up. You can't just winch them up. But it ain't taken all day to get a fish in. Now I did have one, my longest fight I think it was 43 minutes, if memory serves me. And it was a big fish, but I mean, it was different. I mean, it was a blue cat. It wasn't like different species or nothing, but I mean, it was just a different fight. I would have that fish, and it's on my channel. But for those of you who've seen that video, man, like I would get that fish about halfway up to the kayak, and I'm thinking, okay, it's done. We're making progress here. The fight's about over. And then he would make a run and just go all the way back down to bottom. And of course, I had to take my time because I was using the light gear. And so you just kind of, you got to play them out in that situation. And it took, I'm pretty sure it's 43 minutes to get him in, but by gosh, I got him. But most of that was an anomaly. That was an outlier situation. That is not the norm. I've caught fish comparable size, maybe even a little bigger than that have taken 5 minutes to get in. Like it's so different fish to fish what you're going to get. But most of the time, blue cats are just, they're not going to have that long sustained fight. You're not going to be in a marathon battle, even on the big ones. It's going to be a 5-minute fight, even on the light tackle. Maybe a 10-minute fight occasionally. But that one fish, buddy, he ate his Wheaties that day, I reckon, man. He was ready to battle, and it was fun, but I landed him. I got him in. Mission accomplished. So it's really just getting some experience with it and changing my mindset. I talked about that a little bit before too, of one of the big changes in my mindset, in my beliefs, really, is that catfish aren't line shy. For the longest time, I would specifically tell people, like, catfish aren't line shy. Use the heavy gear, use the heavy leaders, because you're not going to be deterring bites from using heavy lines, so why not use it, right? I mean, I've sold that philosophy for years, and I believed it. I wasn't selling lies. Like, I believed it in my heart, because I mean, I've caught a bunch of fish, small fish and big fish, on the heavy gear. The trot liners are using big heavy line. The commercial guys are, the jug line guys are. Like, a bunch of fish are caught on heavy line, big hooks. So of course I'm going to believe they're not line shy. But after using the light gear and the heavy gear side by side, which I done quite a bit of last year, the light gear is just outproducing. It's outproducing on numbers. It's outproducing on big fish. And so I think what happens is you get situations where fish are super active, they're super aggressive, they're willing to hit anything, and they don't care. It don't matter if you got heavy line, light line, whatever, they're going to hit it. They're going to eat. But on days where maybe they're a little lethargic, maybe they're not as active, maybe they're a little bit more spooky, on those days, I think you're going to be more inclined to get fish on the lighter gear. And one of the big things that I really changed my mind this year specifically was drifting in shallow water, shallow clear water at that. So I have always believed that it is a waste of time to try to suspend fish in water less than 20 feet deep. There are certain times of year and certain places where I could get a bite in, say, 15 to 17 feet of water, suspending baits with the heavy gear. But it wasn't a consistent thing. And it got to a point I was doing so poorly, I just never done it again. I just didn't waste time with it. It wasn't worthwhile. But this year, I have found myself in situations, because back home we were in, I don't know if we're still technically in a drought or not, because we got so much rain in such a short time. But early in the year this year, we were in a drought. And so our water level, it was really low. And because we hadn't had rain, it was really clear. So I was fishing some areas that were 12 to 15 feet deep, and I was suspending baits through there and whacking them. big fish too, and a lot of them. And I'm like, why was I able to do that this year, but I haven't been able to do that consistently in years past? What's different? What's changed? Well, I'll tell you what changed. The gear. Using lighter line, smaller hooks. That's the difference. That's the one thing that changed. And now all of a sudden, I'm catching the fish. So, that was one of those big kind of aha moments for me, the light bulb moments, like, okay, there's something to this. There's something to this light tackle stuff. And listen, there's situations where you don't want to fool with a light tackle. Okay, if you're fishing a big, fast-flowing river, and you've got current, you're not going to be doing that in a kayak, obviously, but let's say you're out in a boat and you're on the Missouri River or something, and you got current that's a few miles an hour barreling down through there. Well, if you hook a big fish, and you got to not only fight that fish, but you got to fight the current too. Well, hell, you don't want to be doing it with light line and light rods. You need heavy, stout gear. Like the light tackle it's not for that application. But here's what I think happened. This is where I think all of this came from. In the early days of catfishing, who done it? Who was the catfishing? It was the guys fishing the Mississippi River, the Missouri River, the big, massive river systems with a lot of flow. Those were kind of the pioneers of the catfishing sport as we know it, right? That's where the catfishing in those days were done. It was done in the river systems. Not in the lakes, not in the reservoirs. Even though they were there, they just weren't targeting them as much. It was the river guys that kind of brought catfishing to the forefront. So they're fishing those areas that are fast flowing, where they need heavy gear to get those fish up in the current. And In Fisherman Magazine takes notice. News articles, sportsman's magazines, fishing TV shows, right? They're interviewing those guys, doing articles about them, doing news stories about them and how they approach things, because they're catching these big fish, right? Well, what do people always want to know? What gear are you using? What hooks, what rods, etc. So those guys would share that information, what gear they needed to tackle the big fish on their water. Well, catfishing starts to grow, starts to spread in popularity. Now people are doing it in lakes. They're doing it in reservoirs. They're doing it in smaller rivers with maybe less flow. They're asking though, like, what gear do we need? And the only information that was available was these guys, the big river guys. So the guys on the lakes and reservoirs and smaller rivers, they go buy the same gear and tackle that the other fellows was recommended. And they start catching fish, right? Because again, when fish are super active and aggressive, you're going to catch them with the heavy gear regardless. So they start having success with it. And then they tell their friends. And now everybody new is getting in the sport. You look up what tackle you need, what gear you need. You're seeing the same things. These big heavy action rods, big reels, big line, big hooks, etc., etc., and it just becomes part of the culture. Nobody ever stops to ask, why? Why did this begin? Why do we need this? I certainly didn't. I just went with the flow. I'm like, okay, well, I see all these other guys doing it. They're better fishermen than I am. I'm going to emulate them. That's just what you do. Nobody questions anything. It wasn't really for me until a few years ago when I started going to Florida, kind of a yearly wintertime vacation down there. Then you start talking to guys down there who fish the saltwater, and they'll ask something about the catfish, what kind of gear I'm using for it, and they would just kind of giggle and laugh. Like, what? For catfish, you're using 80 pound for your leaders for catfish? Why? You're using that heavy a rod for catfish? Why? Like, because they're down there. I mean, they're down there in the salt. And all of them saltwater fish. I mean, listen, I love catfish. But I mean, let's not lie to each other. Catfish, in the grand scheme of things, like, they fight harder than some other freshwater fish, but they don't really stack up to most saltwater fish. Okay, like, them saltwater fish are there's every fish fights a little different, and I don't know, pound for pound, like, you're going to have a hard time stacking a blue cat against a lot of them saltwater fish, okay? But those guys, they're down there fishing for bigger fish, for harder fighting fish, for fish that have more teeth and are harder on lines, and they're doing it with much smaller gear, much lighter gear than what we're doing for catfish. So they just kind of laugh like we're a joke to them. And that was kind of my first, a few years ago, when I'm getting laughed at. That was kind of the first moment. I was like, well, am I doing something wrong? Like, is it necessary that we do it? Like, it works. Like, I've caught a bunch of fish with the heavy gear. But, like, is it the best method? Is it really necessary? And so, you fast forward and start trying out the light tackle stuff. And most of the light tackle stuff, it's just getting over irrational fears. And for me, it was just worried about having that day where you finally hook the fish of a lifetime. You get that 100+ pound triple digit fish, and you don't land it because it snaps your line. Now, I say that's an irrational fear. It's probably a realistic fear. If that day comes and I'm using light tackle that day, I may not land that fish. But what's not happening is I'm not breaking off fish left and right. I'm landing the vast majority of the big fish. And I kind of seen the same thing when it comes to ultralight fishing. Because I do a lot of ultralight fishing. I've got a lot of ultralight videos on my channel here. And I use 2-pound test line when I'm ultralight fishing. 2-pound line, 1/64 ounce jig heads. Like, I'm using very, very, very light line, very light jigs. And I tell people all the time how important it is to use that light line. One, you're going to cast those jigs better, right? You're going to be able to cast them easier and farther than if you're using 4-pound, 6-pound, 8-pound line. Like, if you're trying to use 8-pound line and a 1/64 ounce jig, good luck casting that thing. But the 2-pound line, you get adequate casting distance and you catch a lot more fish. And I always tell people, I'm like, look, Randy Goad got me using 2-pound line. I'm a big fan of Randy Goad, trout magnet man. And when I switched from 4-pound to 2-pound, that's not a huge change. Going from 4-pound line to 2-pound line that's not like going from 80-pound down to 15-pound with the catfishing here. 4-pound to 2-pound. But just that small of a difference dramatically increased the number of fish I was catching. Huge increase. 4-pound and 2-pound. And I tell people that in every ultralight video. I stress the importance of using 2-pound line. Are you going to lose some fish? Not as many as you think. Yeah, you get some 3-pound smallmouth bass and he runs you across a tree limb, you're probably going to break off. But hell, that same fish might break you off on 4 or 6-pound test if he runs you across something sharp. But the point is, you're not going to lose as many fish as you think. But yet, even though I stress the importance of that, I'll occasionally bump into somebody and they'll tell me they tried ultralight fishing or whatever, and they're liking it, they're having fun, they're enjoying the fish they catch, but they're just not catching as many fish as me. They can't figure out what they're doing wrong. The first thing I always ask them, what pound line are you using? And you know what answer I normally hear? Oh, I'm using 6 pound. I can't do that 2 pound like you do. I got 6 pound line. I got 8 pound line. I'm like, there's your answer. You want to know why you're not having the same success I am, you're not catching as many fish as I am, it's your line. There's no way around it. It's your line. Downsize your line and upsize your bites. And I've seen the same thing now with catfishing. I don't think it's as important with catfish as it is with, some other types of fish. Like if you're fishing crystal clear water and, for small fish, like it's going to be more so with them, I think, than the catfish. But just going from 40 pound main line and 80 pound leaders to 15 pound main line and 15 pound floor, it's made a huge difference. And I don't know. I don't know that people will believe me when I say that, even though I film it and you see it firsthand. I think people, look, I get it. It's perfectly normal to be skeptical, especially anything on the internet. I had a guy the other day on the Facebook there just accusing me of just trying to hawk some rods here. I've been working with Catfish Sumo to try to dial in the perfect. These right here, these are prototype rods I'm using today. And we got another one coming here in the next week or two. It's going to be ready. But we're trying to dial in the perfect rod for light tackle catfishing. And the dude was convinced I'm just trying to sell some rods. We got a little tug on that line right there. You let it go. But he's convinced I'm just trying to sell some rods. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, we get it done, we get it right, we are going to sell a few, maybe, but I'm like, dude, I'm taking a pay cut for this, right? Like, we've already got my Signature Series Golly Whopper rod. When I use that rod on video, guess what happens? I sell them. Guess what I haven't been doing the last few months? I've been mostly using the light tackle gear. I haven't been using the Golly Whopper rod as much. Guess what happens to Golly Whopper rod sales? They plummet because I'm not using it. New people aren't seeing it. Has this fish got it now? No, he don't. Let's reel it in, see if we still got bait. Even if we do have bait, we probably need to change it. Yeah, let's go ahead and switch that out. Yeah, I was like, dude, I'm taking a pay cut. This is more me wanting the perfect light tackle rod. It's just me wanting it. And I hope it sells. I hope Catfish Sumo is not wasting a bunch of time and money on this to try to make me this rod. I hope they do well. But it's more of a personal enjoyment thing for me. Like, I'm enjoying doing this. And yeah, sure, I could go find a rod that already exists that's probably exactly what I want. I'm sure it's out there. But how many rods do I have to go through? How much money do I have to spend to find it? I bought them ugly stick rods. They were, I think, $90 something a piece. They wasn't what I wanted. A little too flimsy. I got 2 of them. So there's $180 right there. You go do that again, you find, every damn rod these days, $80, $100, $150. How many rods do you have to go through to find exactly what you want? Like, you can't just I can't go to Bass Pro and sit there and shake a rod and be like, oh, that's exactly what I wanted. No, you got to get out of the water. You got to reel in some fish with it. That's how you're going to figure out if it really suits your needs. So, has that rod already gotten hit? We just cast it out. It is already getting hit. We just cast that damn thing out. We just rebaited. It ain't cast out. We're already hooked up. Wonder if that was that same fish and we put it right back down in his face. Maybe he heard the commotion of the thing falling. That was fast. I wish it was that fast every time I cast out. Let's get him up here. Come on, fishy. He's right here under us now. I don't think he's going to be. Well, I say that. Now he's wanting to pull a little bit. Yeah, now he's wanting to pull. I was going to say I didn't think he was going to be all that big, but now he's like, I'll show you, Justin. I'll show you, and the 8 people still watching, by gosh. I love this fish's optimism that 8 people are still watching, though. I'm not as optimistic as he is. We're definitely, though, man, the chicken just ain't. We got one, the smallest fish of the day so far is on the chicken. Everything else here on the shad. What was that? Is it 3-1? No, it's 4-1 now. 4-1 on the, hell, I done lost count. I can't remember. Bottom line is the damn shad's outperforming the chicken by a long shot at this point. Yeah, this is a better one here. He's better than what I thought he was going to be. If I can get him in that net. There you go. There you got him. Good job netting him there, folks. You done a hell of a job with that one. Yeah, I think that one's going to be the heaviest one so far this morning. He's comparable, probably comparable length. Well, I don't know, he might be a little longer if he straightens out there. That's one of them old, I call them a butt face, because their head looks like butt cheeks. He's got all that fat on his head. Come here. Don't you calm down, act like somebody. Act like somebody who knows how to act on camera. Quit that. You danged old fish. Come here. He's mad at me because I called him butt face. But I swear it looks like butt cheeks, don't it? There we go. Now we got it. Here, I'll tell you what, fish. We're going to give you a little moment of fame. Let's do it. Let's give him his moment of glory. Oh, don't do it. Don't flop. Get on. You danged old thing. Every one of these things, they just want to chew your thumb off and flop instantly. All I wanted was a picture of that thing. And he should be honored that I wanted a picture of him. Normally, I wouldn't give a crap back home of getting a picture with a channel cat, because, like I said, he'd be under a pound if he was back home, probably. That one there was nice quality fish. Boy, the dang chicken, though, just ain't doing nothing for us over there. I'm thinking about reeling that chicken in. Let's just go ahead and get 2. Let's try to find, well, I'll tell you what let's do. We're going to reel that chicken in. Ain't doing no good. Let's put one of our bigger shad here. We'll take maybe a head of it and stick on the chicken rod. And we'll try a bigger bait again. And then we'll stick this smaller shad on the left rod. We'll mix it up that way. I'm not a huge fan of chicken. Anyway, I don't mind it up here, but back home, it works, but it just ain't something. It ain't something I got a ton of confidence in for big fish anyway. Yeah, let's cast that out. And And we'll work on the chicken rod. Okay. Old chicken going to waste here. Them catfish said they want a shad burger today. Okay. Let's throw this one out. We'll see how the bigger bait does for us. Like I said yesterday, I just couldn't really tempt fish on the bigger bait. I just seem to want the small stuff. Maybe it'll make a difference today. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, to wrap up that other story, like, you know, I get the skepticism. People's going to think, well, Justin, you just tried to hawk more products. Well, yeah, if we get it dialed in right, I'm going to try to hawk it just so hopefully it'll be a profitable experience for Catfish Sumo. For taking a chance on me and doing something that's totally against the culture of catfishing. But I want it to be right. But in the meantime, though, like, you know, the smart thing for me to do is to every video I go out, use the rod I already have that's already made, that's a higher price point than what the light tackle rod's going to be when it comes out. I mean, that's another thing. Not only when the light tackle rod comes out, yeah, I'll get a cut, I'll get a commission of it, sure. But it's going to be a cheaper price, so you're going to have to sell even more of those than what I do on the Gollywhopper rod. So I'm just, you know, people like that just piss me off. That's why I can't be interactive with people on the internet, because even though the skepticism is valid, when people question my integrity, it pisses me off. And, you know, it's just not, it just ain't. I just shouldn't be on the internet. That's why I'm too antisocial for social media. I've told you all this before. It's the God's honest truth. I am too antisocial for social media. How the hell my channel ever got this big or has ever lasted this long, it's totally mind-blowing. We have to be living in a simulation. That's the only thing I can think of. Like, we have to be, this can't be real. It has to be fake. We're just living in a computer-generated, simulated world or something here, folks. It just ain't possible. But yet here I am, out here, Sandusky, Ohio, filming a video that at least 8 of you are still watching, hopefully, and living the dream, man. Out here fishing with chicken and catching channel cats. We have to be living in a simulation. Who would have ever thought I would drive 8 hours, go to Walmart, buy some, well, I didn't go to Walmart just to buy chicken. I was over there looking for wrestling figures too. I went to the toy department before I went to the grocery section. But, yeah, out here driving 8 hours to catch channel cats and try to do it with chicken, or at least we was till we switched out our bait. The universe is a crazy, mysterious place, y'all. I do have some information to tell you all. Bear with me a second here, though, folks. Before we go to breaking news, my allergies are going crazy. I'm not going to blow my nose right here in the microphone, but I am struggling with the snot, folks. I know that's exactly what you want to hear. Whatever's blooming up here in Ohio, my allergies hate it. Let me give me a swig of water here, and I'm going to tell you a little about another new product that's coming out. So, in some recent trips, I've talked a little bit about a new kayak that's coming out. And I can't really go into great detail about that for two reasons. One, I don't know much about it. The company reached out to me. Oh, hold on. I'm gonna put my snot rag up. We got left rod here. Left rod here, we're hooked up. That small thread fin shad is the one that got eat first between it and the big gizzard head that we got out there. The small one strikes again. There's something about that small bait, man. It was working yesterday, it's working today. I mean, hell, it don't matter to me. I don't care what size they want. I'll feed them whatever. We got more smalls than we do bigs. So if they were on a big bait, we would have probably got cleaned out yesterday. But I had a million of them small ones. I don't think this one here, though, he ain't gonna measure up to some of his friends. Not that last butt face one anyway. Yeah, he's a bigger dink than I thought, but we'll go ahead and net him, bring him in. Okay, fish, come on in. Welcome to the party. Did he come unhooked, or no, he just flung that bait up the line there? Okay. You ain't gonna get no front camera time, fish. You just ain't gonna. Maybe next year you'll be big enough we can justify holding you for the front camera. But that ain't this year. Yeah, old dinkity-doo. He's a nice catch there, another bite, but not gonna live up to the quality standards we've gotten accustomed to up here. The bar is set high for him. Let's go ahead and, he left that bait there, he flung it up the line, but I'm gonna go ahead and put a different one on. Trying to find us a suitable candidate here, kind of in that same size range that's been working good. I guess we could go smaller than that if we need to, or maybe put a couple of them on. As many as we got in here, though, hell, there ought to be. Let me just get a handful of them out there. Here, that'll work. It'll work. We'll take them others and maybe go ahead and cut them up and chum the water a little bit. Let's run our float back down our line. Yeah, he tore that thing up. Where'd it go? There it is. Lord Almighty. Hell, I've dropped it down to my pedal drive slot, folks. Hell, get another one over here. Man, none of them look particularly good. This shad's in rough shape, man. A lot of these things are. It may be why our quality ain't as good today on the fish we are catching. Maybe they're a little turned off by the mushiness of these shad, maybe. Can't blame them. I wouldn't want to eat this mess. Nasty old things. Okay, now we're back in the game. Let's cast this back out, and I'm gonna tell you about this couple new kayaks. I got breaking news here. Just saw a new kayak design last night. I may possibly be getting access to very soon. So, I told my channel members this the other day. I'm gonna sit here and snip up some of these shad, just sink them down there and put more scent in the water. Put a bunch of these small pieces down and just get them, hopefully get that scent dispersed in the current there. But anyway, I told a story recently. I had a kayak company reach out that is launching a new kayak at ICAST in July. And they wanted me to kind of put it through its paces and stuff and feature it on the channel, obviously. And they haven't really, to this point, well, by the time you see this video, I'm hoping I have access to it. But at this point in time, at this moment, I don't have access to the kayak yet. They're supposed to be shipping it to me prior to ICAST so that I can get some video footage with it and have that ready to launch when they launch the kayak, which is apparently they're going to show it at ICAST and then it's going to be ready to go at dealers a week or so later. It's not going to be one of them deals where they announce it at ICAST and it don't come out till the following spring. Like, it's going to be ready to go now. So anyway, I can't tell you much about that kayak because two reasons. One, I don't know much about it yet. And two, I've had to sign an NDA. This is I don't even know if I'm supposed to tell you the name of the company, so I'll hold off on that. But it's a big name company, big budget, big deal. I don't know if the kayak will amount to much. We'll see when I actually get eyes on it, but they're proud of it. I'll say that. They're very proud of this. They're going to great lengths to protect all the information about it until it comes out at ICAST. So, I'd already talked about that on some other videos. So you'll hopefully be seeing that kayak here very soon once I get access to it. But I had another company reach out. And of course, I get, when you do this YouTube crap, man, my inbox, my email, every day I've got some company in there wanting me to, they're wanting to feature whatever garbage they're selling on this channel. And it's a wide range of stuff, man. It's mostly crap. Most of the emails, honestly, most of them go to my spam folder. They don't even come to me because these companies, they just reach out to all these YouTubers trying to get them to hawk their products for them, right? But when a kayak company reaches out, I take notice. And so I read the email of this company. It's a new company, new kayak company. And they haven't asked me to not say anything, and they haven't made me sign an NDA or anything, so I'll just tell you everything about it. It's a new inflatable kayak, which those of you that have been with me a while, I've been fascinated with inflatables. I'm in this Hobie Lynx today, and I love it. And it's very lightweight, but an inflatable is even lighter. Same kind of hull design, but even lighter weight. So I've been kind of fascinated with inflatables. I've been wanting to try one, and so an inflatable kayak company drops in my email. Of course, I'm going to read the email. Well, this particular company, they're launching at ICAST too, but their situation at ICAST is going to be kind of like I described there, where they're going to have one of their prototype models at ICAST, but their finished product isn't going to be available until God knows when. So probably at least the spring, I would assume. But anyway, it's an inflatable kayak, kind of a paddleboard hull design like the Lynx here. But instead of having pedals in this slot here like we have with the Lynx, it's going to have a motor pod. And the pod, it's going to set flush. Like, you're going to have this opening here. The motor will drop in. It will set flush. The battery will be in the container right above the motor. Everything's self-contained. And that motor will have GPS capability, meaning you're going to have spot lock. You're going to have like the course heading, cruise control, set your speed, set your direction, all of that stuff in that self-contained pod. So you've got a lightweight kayak from the fact it's inflatable. They sent me pictures of all this. It doesn't, our left rod here. Well, we'll tap. The email they sent and the pictures and all that, like it didn't have the official specs. Like, I don't know how long it's going to be. I don't know the final weight, and they may not know the final weight, truth be told. Everything's in the prototype stage for them, so they don't know what the finished product is going to. They should know the length of the kayak, but they don't know, I'm sure they don't know the finished weight of everything yet. So, anyhow, I'm fascinated by this. Now, again, this is a brand new kayak company. Are they going to amount to anything? Will the quality be worth a damn? Will they even get this? Our rat rod. Well, that bigger piece of shad got hit. Hopefully he'll come back for it. But will this company get off the ground? Will they amount to anything? Who knows? Way too early. I've never heard of this company because I don't know when they started, but this is going to be their first product, the first kayak they launch. But their plan is they are going to announce it at ICAST, and they are looking for some kayak fishermen like myself to give them some feedback on the kayak. And so I'm interested. Now, they're not offering to pay anything for this, and this is where I've got to get some clarification. And I emailed them back last night to try to get some clarification. I'm definitely interested, and I really don't even care about compensation, but I want to be able to keep it. Like, if they send me this kayak, I want to keep it. Or if they're sending me a prototype that I have to send back, when they get the finished product done, I would like to be able to keep that, right? Like, and the way the email read, I'm unclear as to if I'm going to have to give this prototype back. And, it's like on one hand, I would understand, like, if they want the prototype back, I get that. But from my perspective, is it a situation where, like, I'm going to have to clear a day in my schedule because I'm going to have to be home to sign for this when it's delivered. I'm going to use it, give them feedback on it, for their own product development, feature it on my channel, and then I'm going to have to take another day to package this thing back up and make arrangements with a shipping company to ship it back to them. And then what? What do I get out? I mean, I hate to be that kind of guy, like, what's in it for me? But if I'm sacrificing 2 days, one, I have to clear, because you know how it is, man. When something's being delivered to your house, you don't know when the hell they're going to show up. And if you have to sign for it, and if this is one of few, the way the email made it sound, like they've got a few working prototypes. So, like, they're probably going to want a signature on that damn delivery slip. So I'm going to have to wait all day probably. I can't plan anything else that day to be able to sign for it whenever it shows up. Then I'm going to go out and use it. Have to send probably numerous phone calls, emails, etc. about my experience with this thing. Feature it on my channel, give them free advertisement, and then have to clear my schedule for a day to make arrangements with the shipping company to send it back. Like, I don't want to sound ungrateful for the opportunity, but I ain't doing that shit for free, okay? Like, it sounds, I'm very intrigued by the concept. I'm very intrigued by it. I love the idea of inflatable, especially if it's a good quality inflatable. And I love seeing more companies make a lightweight, low profile, GPS capable motor that's specifically for kayak. A lot of the Big Kodas, the Motor Guides, the Garmin, like they're making quote unquote kayak motors, but they're just the same heavy ass boat motor with a shorter shaft length. They're still heavy as hell. Like it's kayak fishing. I want it to be lightweight. I've done the heavy kayaks. I've done the heavy kayaks for years. When I got this Hobie Lynx, I'm like, man, this is so awesome. Why is it awesome? Because it's so lightweight. I don't need a trailer. I can launch it anywhere. Like, this is kind of getting back to what kayak fishing was supposed to be. And the inflatable aspect of it just takes it a step further. And if you can have a lightweight motor that's designed for that kayak, like it gives you the modern day conveniences of having like if we had that motor out here today, we wouldn't need a physical anchor. You know, I've got a 15-pound dumbbell we're tied off to right now. If the motor and the battery weighs less than the dumbbell, and we don't have the hassle of having to drop down a physical anchor and tie off to it, great. That's awesome, you know? So, you know, I have no idea about this company. I know nothing about them. Will they make it? Will they fail? Will the kayak itself be total junk? Will the motor be total junk? I don't know. I have no answers to that. But I love the innovation. I love seeing a company take some initiative to solve problems within the industry. I love that. And, you know, the first kayak I mentioned, granted, it's a much, I don't know if I'm supposed to say the name of the company. I've signed that damn NDA, which I put it into Chat GPT, and man, it's like, they got me by the balls once I signed that damn NDA. But I don't know if but the bottom line is the company, it's much bigger, it's established, they're a quality brand, they have a great reputation, and they are coming out with a kayak that I was told, I don't think I'll get in trouble for telling you this because this is the only thing they would tell me about it. They said it was lightweight and different than anything they've done before. Now, what does that mean? I couldn't tell you. I have no idea. What does lightweight mean? Is lightweight Hobie Lynx type lightweight? Or is it just lighter weight than any other kayaks, which are all heavy? I don't know. What does different than anything they've ever done before? What does that mean? Is it a whole new kayak design? Is it just them making a version of something that's already out there, but they haven't done before? Like, I don't know. I don't have a clue. I'm hoping to get more information on it soon. Hopefully by the time you're seeing this video, hopefully have it in hands. But I don't know. But what I am excited about is, for the first time since COVID, we're getting some innovation. We're getting some companies. Like, I feel like since COVID, the kayak industry has been stagnant. There's been some, I won't say companies go away. I don't know any company that's went out of business, but there's been some kind of consolidation. You know, of course, Hobie sold to different ownership. I think they've sold twice since COVID. They went to a private equity group right after that, and then now Bass Pro bought them. So Hobie's been in shambles. Has there ever been a fall from grace like Hobie in the fishing world? I mean, I'm trying to rack my brain right now. I can't think of any bigger fall from grace than Hobie. And listen, I like Hobie products. I've had good experiences overall. I've owned I've owned 3 Hobie kayaks now. I've had the Hobie Outback originally, my Hobie Pro Angler, which I've had for, I got it in 2019, so I've had it for 7 years, and now I've had the Hobie Lynx for going on 2 years now. I got this in 2024. So I think this fall will be 2 years that I've had this kayak. I've had good experiences with Hobie, but a lot of people haven't, especially the last few years. Quality went off a cliff once they sold to the new ownership group. Parts became impossible to find. People that had warranty issues couldn't get anything done about it. Like, Hobie went from being the premier kayak fishing brand to now, I'm of my friend group, used to be everybody had Hobie. Like, if you didn't have a Hobie, you kind of stood out for not having a Hobie. Now, man, I only know 2 or 3 people that have them. Like, I've never, in my lifetime, I have never seen a company going from being on top, dominating the industry, to being an afterthought now. And an afterthought, I'm being kind right now. I don't even know if they're an afterthought at this point. No, when you think of who's leading in the kayak fishing world, who's innovating, nobody thinks Hobie anymore. That used to be the first name you thought of. Now nobody thinks of it. Nobody has any confidence in the company. Nobody believes in the brand anymore, because why would they? They've been burned. You know, quality used to be great on Hobies, then it went down the crapper. And if you're going to have a crappy product, you better stand behind it with your warranty, and they weren't. People have fought warranty claims for months. I mean, every time I get on social media, I see people having problems with Hobie warranty, or you can't find parts. I've had problems. I can't find parts. I needed parts. When I broke my pedal drive down there, that shark last year when I went to the Keys, I had that shark run up under me and broke my fins off my pedal drive. You know how hard it was to find fins? I mean, that's a basic part. Like, that should be available all the time. You can't get it. I wanted to buy a separate rudder. So this Hobie Lynx, the way this Hobie Lynx works, back here in the back, you can see I got my rudder. That's how you steer, okay? You got a handle here that steers. The cord is wrapped in this mesh liner here, if you will, that runs from the handle back there to the rudder, right? Well, and thankfully, I have not had any issues. We got a fish here working that right rod on our bigger bait there. Has he got it? He does. Our bigger bait there, the shad, folks. We'll see if a bigger bait equates to a bigger fish. Well, he's got it. All right, we hooked up again. We got another one. We're gonna end up leaving here today with several fish, y'all. Will we get any real 35-inch plus channel cats? I don't know. But we're gonna leave here today having caught several by the time it's said and done, and we may not have to move. We may be able to just sit here between these 2 land masses amongst all these rocks here on bottom. And I'm still seeing, I mean, look right here on the screen. I mean, there's still a bunch of fish down there. Like, it's still, there's a lot of either bait or whatever that is in this area. The old danged old fish interrupted my, I was mid-story. We'll finish it up here in a minute. Don't you worry, folks. We're going to finish it. We're just going to reel in a fish first. Danged old fish. Yeah, I'll admit, I'm having fun catching these channel cats up here. I don't care if I ever catch another channel cat again as long as I live back home. But up here, I'm enjoying it. Yes, it's gonna be a little better fish. We'll stick another big bait on here when we rebait too. Get your net over here ready. Lord, Day, you've snagged it on the camera mount there. Y'all got to do a better job with that net. We're going to ditch this net when we get home. I just got this thing recently, but I hate it. That large diameter mesh right there, it snags everything in the kayak. When I started kayak fishing 20 years ago or so, I had a net similar to that, and that's exactly why I got rid of it. I'd forgotten how bad exactly I hated the net. Oh, that's a big one right there. That's a big channel cat right there, but it's the biggest one of the day for sure. Yeah, buddy. We got us a good one here, folks. We'll play him out just a smidge more. Yeah, this is easily going to be the biggest one of the morning. Okay. Well, he's going to go back down. This is a strong fish. Okay. Yes. Okay, let's try to steer him over here now. Yeah, oh man, look at that thing, y'all. Nice. Oh, wow. Nice. This one's got some length and some weight as we snag our rod holder there. Whoo, buddy. Yes. On that big old piece of shad we threw out. Where's the hook at there, sir? Let me have that hook back, please, and thank you. Let me get to... He's hooked kind of in a weird way, too, right there. Bottom lip. There we go. Okay. Yeah, buddy, let's... Well, their jaws are strong, ain't they? Tore my finger up. Yeah, folks, this one here... I mean, his tail's curled up there over my paddle, but that's a good fish right there, folks. That's a 35, 36-inch fish easily right there. Nice, man. Nice, nice channel cat, buddy. If such a thing can exist, can you have a nice channel cat? I don't know. Nice. I definitely want to get a picture of this one, though. If he'll cooperate long enough for me to do it. He probably won't. Come here now. Okay. No. He just won't. He won't. Here, let's do it like this then. We won't even try to get you by the mouth. Nice. Look at that. That is awesome, y'all. This one may be the biggest one of both days, honestly. All right, buddy. Let's send you home. Yes, buddy. Oh, hold on, y'all. We got this rod now. We got this one going down now. Okay. Back to back. This one's going to run. Oh, y'all, we got us a stud there, buddy. That last one was nice. I like it. If I could listen, I talk crap about channel cats all the time. If I could catch them like that at home, I wouldn't talk crap about them. But I could fish the rest of my life at home. I'll probably never catch one comparable, anywhere comparable close to that size. Up here though on Sandusky Bay, it's a Tuesday. You know, it's just a random day. People catch them that big up here all the time. This one has made his way over here, right here by us. I hope he ain't gonna get back there in that anchor rope. You stay up here, fish. You stay right up there in front of us. He's got some get up and go to him. Yeah, he does. He got us spinning every which way. I'm curious to see with this one biting back to back, do we have some bigger fish work through together? I want to get a look at this one. We're going to rebait and send that other one out before we land this. I want to get a look at him though. I'm very curious to see if this is going to be same. He's fighting hard. Will he be same size, maybe bigger than the last? Will he be smaller and just overly energetic here? I don't know. But he feels dang good, I'll tell you that. Let's stand up here. Oh yeah, that's another, well, I don't think he's going to be as big as the last one, but he's a dang good fish. Here, let's do something with your net here first. Boy, I hate that net. I can't tell you enough about how bad I hate that net. Well, we're going to need it though. Let's grab this one right here. Looks like a winner. Go ahead and rebait and send it out before we land the other one. Try to be as efficient as possible because there could be a pile of fish that have worked through and we're not catching them right now because we don't have bait in water. But we're about to remedy that. Okay. There we go. Get that out there. Okay, well, we at least got one bait out now. Now let's just set that up there because we're gonna need it in a second. Why don't you already have this fish landed for me? Come over here. Get in there. Nice, man, this is a nice fish too. Actually, yeah, he's smaller than the last one, but I mean, folks, that's another one there that's probably 33, 34 inch range. Like that ain't nothing to snub your nose at right there, folks. Like that's a good fish. Goodness, man, we're catching some big ones now. Boy, he got hooked funny too, didn't he? Outside of the jaw, right on the bottom. Here, fish, I'll give you a moment of fame too, y'all. This one here, he's also front camera worthy. Buddy, these are some big old channel cats, man. A big old fat thing right there. Nice. All right, buddy, we gotta get rebaited. I'm ready to catch you, your friends. Y'all, that was a nice back-to-back. I'm pretty sure that other one was probably, I think he was bigger than any of the ones I got yesterday for sure. Although we did get some yesterday that were real nice. Yes, y'all. We in the game, man. We're in it to win it, buddy. All right, we got our a little bit bigger bait on that one. Let's go back to putting maybe a little bit smaller one on this side. Well, a lot of these shad here are just rough shape, falling apart. That one's a little bit bigger too. Well, I ain't really liking many of these. We may just end up using a little bit bigger one. I ain't seeing nothing leaping out at me that's... The bigger ones, at least... Here, let's just put another one of these on. The bigger ones at least stay a little better quality. The smaller the shad, the quicker it gets mushier. Gonna run her float back down the line here. Casting out these dragon rigs though, man, it's worked. It's worked better. Being anchored with these dragging rigs casted out is definitely, of all the stuff I've done yesterday, it worked better yesterday, and it's paying off big for us today. I'm pleased with how today is going. We've caught several fish now in the first couple hours. We're getting some bigger class fish too. I think it's just these, this area. Of course, there's all kinds of big fish caught up here on Sandusky Bay, but I think the rocks through here really help it. And it seems like when Daniel won the tournament up here a few years ago, he was fishing kind of an isolated rock pile and would have fish just cycle through. And same thing kind of out here. I think you're just going to have fish periodically work through them rock piles and stuff. What was I saying for all that started? Oh, yeah. I was talking about what a crap company Hobie is and how you can't get parts. So we was talking about the rudder. There's more fish right there. It's just constant fish right there swimming around under us. Constant fish. But this cable here that goes from your handle to the rudder snaps. Now, thankfully, I have not had any issues. But I've seen enough people online that have had issues to know it's a matter of time before I will. And so I wanted to have a backup already ready to go in case it happened. And those things, the rudder, it comes with the rudder, handle, the whole shebang, ready to go. It's $100, but you can't find them anywhere. Then I finally found one. It was a shop. They had posted in the Hobie Links group there on Facebook that they had one, and they don't have they don't have a website that you could order stuff on, but they had one in the shop, and they was willing to ship it. So I had to pay. They charged me $25 to ship it, which is highway robbery, but it was worth it because now I have a backup. I keep it in the trunk, so if I'm on a trip like this and this rudder cable snaps, well, the trip ain't ruined. I can just put the new one on. Oh, we got something here hitting our right rod. Has he got it? Oh, well, I pulled it out of his mouth if he did. But it shouldn't be that damn hard to get replacement parts. If you've got something like this cable here that people are having snap, like it's a part that fails, it needs to be readily available. Now, people are doing DIY fixes. They're taking like bicycle cables, and it's apparently a cheap fix. And I watched one video that I didn't watch it closely enough that I could sit here and explain to you how to do it, but people were taking bicycle cables to repair this for $12, $15, whatever. They get it on Amazon and doing it. And that's what I will do. If and when this one breaks, I will repair it with a bicycle cable off Amazon. But I didn't want to have to buy a bicycle cable, carry extra tools with me, and then have to be on a trip or vacation somewhere and learn how to repair it in a parking lot somewhere. I wanted to have another one that's ready to go. that I can put on, and then when I get, let's say it tear up today, we'd stick our new one on there, and then when I get back home, well, then I can order the bicycle cables and fix this one, as we got our left rod here getting hit just like that. Let's reel in another one. Well, that shad head, here I was, trying to find us a small shad that wasn't pure mush. We stick on the bigger, we'll keep doing that. We'll go through our bigger ones now. If we can get the bigger shad to eat, great. That'll be way better for us. They'll be in better condition, and we've still got enough of them left in there. Well, he's coming right at us. He's coming at us, folks. He has made a run right up here to us. Yeah, buddy. Okay. I ain't got to look at him yet. He come up here and tried to splash me. Did you see that? That was rude. Uncalled for fish. Yeah, he's a lot smaller. A lot smaller than his friends. We probably gonna have to, might as well net him anyway though, versus trying to potentially risk breaking our line, trying to get hold of him as he's thrashing around every which way. How many fish have I've lost track of how many we've caught now, but there's been several. Oh, we got our right rod getting hit too. Something was after it, something hit it. Okay, where's that hook? Nope. Let me see where the hook's at before you flash around. Flash around, splash around, thrash around. Some word that rhymes with rash. That's what you're gonna do. And get me hooked. I still don't see it. Oh, there it is. Hell, he's hooked in the fin. No, he got hooked in the mouth. Boy, fish, you've done it to yourself. The hook went through the mouth, and now it's in the fin, but I think it's going to have to go back through the mouth, because he's, I don't know how you've done this, fish. I don't know how the hell you've done this. There, okay, we got it. We got it back. Here. I don't even care about getting a picture with you, fish. You ain't picture worthy, and you acting a damn fool down there, and my thumb's sore as hell after the last couple days, so if I can get this net out my pedal drive, which I hate this net, y'all. I hate this net so bad. I'm never using this net again. Oh, hold on. I ain't got time to fool with that net, because we got another one on this right rod. We'll have to fool with that in a minute. I got that damn net hung on my pedal drive. We're going back to the old net. It ain't very deep, but the mesh is much smaller. We're just gonna make it work. That old net would be fine on fish like this. It's just the really big ones and big long blues that I'm having difficulty with. This one come right up to the surface. He's thrashing around out there. We doubled up here though, folks. We got one in the floor and one in the hand. If we had another rod out right now, we could probably have another one on. You can fish with 3 rods up here in Ohio, but I'm more of a 2-rod kind of guy at this point, especially on just a fun trip. If it's tournament day or something, we go 3 rods, but up here today, just fun fishing. Here, fish, I'm gonna get hold of you. If I could get you to quit flopping, maybe I could get that net undone. I can't. Boy, you an ornery thing. You've done caused a world of problems for us here, fish. Come out of that net. There. Goodness gracious, that fish, he's just a pain in the cutie patootie. What are we hung on down here now? Everybody for years was like, Justin, why don't you use a net? This is why. This right here is why, because it catches on literally everything. Before we land that other one, though, I'll tell you what else we're going to catch. We're going to catch a shad head here out of this bag and send it flying out there on that left rod. That's what we're going to do. We'll go ahead and rebait, try to be efficient. We could probably reuse the one that's on here, but yeah, it's been chewed up a little bit there. We'll just replace it. What'd I do with it now? There it is. Y'all trying to hide it from me like a daggone Easter egg down there. I know what yins are up to. Y'all try to make a fool out of me every time we fish together. There's always some kind of shenanigans here happening. Okay, got that. Tell you what, let's go ahead and just cut this one too. That way when we get this other fish unhooked, we'll already have that sitting there and be ready to go. Work smarter, not harder, folks. Get in there. There you go, fish. Get in that net. Got him. Okay, we got him. Yeah, this one here's another one that's not as big as we have caught up here, but probably bigger than anyone I've ever caught at home. It's just amazing the quality of the channel cats up here. It's amazing. Even though I'm not historically a channel cat guy, I will admit these bigger class channel cats are fun. You're double hooked, fish. That's what the problem is. You went through the bottom lip and the top. Boy, you and the other fish both got hooked weird, didn't you? He literally run that hook through. Afraid he's gonna thrash and put that hook in me if I grab hold of the hook there. How the hell did you do that, fish? We need to go back through there we go. Need to go back through the hole it went through. There, we got it. Okay. If we get you out of the net now, you'll be ready to go home. See you later, fish. Nice to meet you. See you around sometime. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that net, buddy, we're getting rid of that thing. Gotta retighten my handle down there too. Okay, now we're ready to rebait on this rod. Nice series of events though, folks. Nice fun time when you're catching them that quickly. Throw out another shad head, one of the bigger ones. Okay. Is that other rod over there, or was it just now getting hit? Another short cast. We're not casting these things super long distances. We don't have to. Yeah, it is getting hit. It is getting hit. Let's get this and set. Oh, no, I just pulled it right out of his mouth. I felt him let go when I picked up. Did he get our bait? Nah, he did not get our bait, but we just cast it out and it already needs replaced. Look at this thing. That's all that's left of it. That fish there robbed us, didn't he? He done gone and robbed us. Here, let's get this. Put on some of them body sections at some point too. I always like me a good head bait though, because I just have a ton of confidence in catching big fish on head baits. Even if it's a smaller head like some of these shad, still it's just something about those heads. I don't know if it's the eyes. I don't know what it is. But something about it. Just you catch big fish more frequently, it seems like, on the heads. There's times, like I went through a stretch fairly recently where it was body sections catching my big fish, but just over the course of time, if you run the time span out long enough, you'll see that the head baits usually perform better for big fish than the other cuts. At least that's been my experience. Now, that's my experience to this point in time. As we talked about earlier, everything's subject to change with new information or new experiences. But head baits overall is my preferred cut. So anyway, just to put a bow on the other conversation there, Hobie sucks. And I hope Bass Pro can turn it around once they get all their manufacturing and distribution set up. Hopefully parts will be available again and the quality will get better and all that. It can't get much worse. But Hobie just, for years, led in innovation. From the pedal drive to the Hobie Pro Angler kayak. I mean, it was the first of its kind. They made, the 360 drive on the Hobie Pro Angler was a total disaster. The quality was terrible. But I will commend them for the innovation to try it. Like, it was ahead of its time. But since COVID, the kayak industry kind of got stagnant. There just wasn't new stuff. It was kind of just the same old crap in a different color every year. And the few new kayaks that come out were huge. Like that Bonafide XTR. I got it. I tried it. I fished in it twice. I hated it. I just turned around and sold it. I hated it. It wasn't a kayak. It's a plastic boat at that point. I want to fish out of a kayak. The reason to get a kayak is for the kayak fishing experience. If you're getting a kayak that's so damn big that it should be classified as a boat, you ain't getting that experience. So why not just get a boat? And that's kind of what I was thinking when I was in that Bonafide. I'm like, man, I'm in a boat right now. This ain't kayak fishing. This ain't fun. So I turned around and sold that thing. But that's where the industry has gone the last few years. It's just bigger and heavier, bigger and heavier. And I've been talking to you all about it for months. Like, I want the pendulum to swing backwards toward lighter and smaller again. And so when that company reaches out with their inflatable with the motor pod, it's very appealing. And I wish them the best with it. I hope it works out. But these small companies like this, or I don't know, I don't know their financial backing. I really don't know how big a company is. I just know that it's new. But it's a competitive space. And to get a new company up and off the ground, I mean, you've seen it with the FluxJet people, right? So FluxJet, similar situation. They announced their product at ICAST last year, brand new kayak with a jet motor integrated into the back of the kayak. First of its kind. Innovation, true innovation, right? And look at all the problems they've had. They had a great idea, great concept. Announced it at ICAST, and I think the first production model kayaks, if memory serves me, I think they were going to start shipping in November or December of last year. The people who got in early, the first people who were going to buy, were going to get them first, and then it was going to be staggered. They had like so many they were going to ship that month, and then the next month, and next month. So at this point, my understanding is if you purchased a FluxJet kayak today, you wouldn't get it by the end of this year. They're that far behind. But they didn't meet their shipping expectation. Like, they got behind right from the start. And I understand, like, that's business, man. Like, they're a new company. They're working out all the kinks. Of course, we've had a lot of turmoil in the country this year with the Iran situation and the tariffs and all that. Like, a lot of these companies, they have no idea what the product cost is going to be next month or 6 months from now, or how long it's going to take to get stuff. So I'm willing to give companies a pass from that aspect. But what's hard for a company like the FluxJet people, they're brand new and they're already having to be pushing people back. Like, so, well, you know, we promised you were getting this in December, but now it's going to be February. You know, it's the reasoning why things are getting pushed back. It's understandable. But because they're a brand new company and they don't have any reputation or credibility yet, it's kind of damaging to them in a way. Like, I'm fascinated by the concept of this FluxJet kayak, but there's no way in hell. I mean, look, if they wanted to send me one, I'd hop in it and try it out and feature it on the channel. But I'm not going to rush out and buy one until I see how other people's experience have gone. It's not that I don't necessarily trust the people who are running FluxJet, or the guy. I think it's a one-man operation. But we've just seen so many times when you have a new kayak, even from the big name brands, Old Town, Hobie once upon a time, Jackson Kayaks, Native, Bonafide. Like, when you come out with a brand new model, you think you've stress tested, you think you've got everything dialed in, but until it gets in the hands of people who are going to be using it, and they're going to be using it in ways that maybe you didn't imagine it being used, you're not going to know if you have problems or not. And we've seen that with a lot of kayaks through the years of, man, I could go through the list. When Old Town first came out with the Old Town Predator, what happened? They had cracks. They had cracks in the hull. When Hobie first came out with the Hobie Pro Angler, what happened? Had cracks around the seat. Jackson Kayak, man, their Kilroy, they had problems on the floor right there under the seat, on the bottom of the hull. They were having problems with that. I knew a couple people that had the same issue. Like, you know, and I'm sure Hobie fixed their problem. Old Town fixed their problem. I'm sure Jackson, I don't know if they make the Kilroy still. I don't know if they make that model anymore. But I'm sure they addressed the issue. But, like, you don't know until you get it in the consumer's hands what kind of issues you're going to have. And if you're a small company, oh, we got a fish. Oh, he dropped it. Yeah, he dropped it. But, like, if it's Hobie in 2018 and they have problems, well, we know they have the budget to fix it and make it right. If it's Old Town and they have problems with that Old Town Predator when it was launched, we know they are a long-standing, high-budget, reputable company. They're going to make it right. They're going to not only replace the holes of the people who had problems with it, but they're going to fix the design flaw, and the future models are going to be better. When you have a brand new company like a FluxJet or this other company that's coming out with the inflatable, will they have the budget to fix problems if they arise? Like when FluxJet's sending out all these kayaks right now, if 25% of the holes get a crack in the seat or the seat base or something, or are they going to have the budget to be replacing that many holes, or will it sink them? Well, I don't know. They may be well funded for all I know, but that's the thing, we don't know. They don't have any history, they don't have any reputation yet, so it's impossible to know. So I've kind of taken a wait and see approach on a company like them, because I wanted to get in the consumer's hands and see, are there going to be problems? If so, what are the problems? How are they handling that as a company? And then go from there. But I commend them on the innovation. Like, it's different. It's hopefully forcing the bigger companies like the Old Towns and the Hobies and the Wilderness Systems and Bonafides, etc. It's hopefully these new startup companies are going to hopefully force the bigger companies that's kind of, I feel, been complacent the last few years. That's why the kayak fishing industries went stagnant. They've just become complacent because they've dominated the industry. When you hold all the cards, it don't matter if you got aces in your hand or not. You hold all the cards. But when these other small startup companies start coming along and be like, we can do this better than you, here's our idea, we're going to make it happen. Well, it forces the big names to either change their ways and adapt and innovate too to stay on top, or get left behind. And I think this year, I don't really know of anything coming at ICAST other than the two kayaks I've mentioned. There could be other companies that are coming out with something new. And of course, given one of these kayaks, the one I'm getting for sure, I have no idea anything about it. I mean, what an interesting conversation that was. I mean, I would ask questions and the dude was like, I'm sorry, I can't tell you. I wish I could tell you, but I can't. No, I can't answer that either. I mean, he could literally tell me two things. It's lightweight and different than anything they've done before. That's all he could tell me, as this fish here was tugging on that left line. So I don't know what'll happen with that, but I think what I do feel like is going to happen for sure within the next 3 years time frame, let's say, I think we're going to have more innovation in kayak fishing than we have had in the last decade plus. I think we're going to get some lighter weight options. I think we're going to get more motor options, hopefully some better quality motors. We've got motor options now, but they're either heavy or junk. I mean, look at that motor I bought a few months ago from Mariner Sales. Here I am about to harp on Mariner Sales again. What a crappy company they are. So I bought that FPV motor. FPV, they make a few different products, but they don't make the motors. They were taking this Chinese motor, modifying it, putting waterproof switches, variable speed control, everything. And it would fit down in the drive slot of a Hobie. So like I had it on this Hobie Lynx, and it was a very small thrust motor, very lightweight, only weighed a few pounds. But on this kayak, because of the paddleboard hole design, it moved you very quickly. And so I had it, and the first few trips, I'm like, this is awesome. I really like this thing. This is working out. Well, I don't know, 8 trips, 10 trips in, I go out, it won't work. Look, what the hell's the problem here? Well, you go to spin the prop, it won't hardly spin. I take the prop off, make sure I ain't got fishing line or nothing there. No, nothing. The damn thing's seized up. It got water in there. It won't turn. It's all corroded and seized up. Well, I reach out to Mariner Sales, try to file a warranty claim. And all was going smoothly. This fish over here was tugging. He let go. All was going smoothly until they found out that I extended the battery cables. Nothing to do with the part that failed, water getting inside the housing there and seizing everything up, corroding it. Nothing to do with that. But I extended the battery cable so that I could actually reach it to the battery. And because, I mean, the damn battery cables was yay long. They wasn't long enough to reach, or at least where I wanted the battery to be. Well, they denied my warranty claim. And not only did they deny me, but they ghosted me. It took me 3 weeks to figure out they weren't going to honor the claim, and it pissed me off. It was so rude and disrespectful. I have absolutely nothing to say good about Mariner Sales. Like, I mean, I could not get the guy to call me back. Numerous emails, numerous messages. Finally, 3 weeks later, he calls me back and, yeah, we can't do anything. Yeah, we got to void the warranty. Oh, but if I'm willing to sit, because they're a repair center for them FPV motors, in addition to being a kayak shop. But they were like, oh, if you want to send it back, we'll take a look at it and can maybe fix it for you. I'm like, hell no, I'm not going to pay you to fix this piece of junk. After you've strung me out for 3 weeks, you think I'm going to pay you another dime? I'll never spend a penny there again. I wouldn't recommend to anybody. So I told that story, and it was weird too. Like, so I finally get the dude to call me back 3 weeks later to tell me that the warranty claim was denied. And probably like a week after that, I get another call from somebody at Mariner Sales following up on my warranty issue or whatever. And I'm like, does the right hand not know what the left hand's doing down there? Like, you already told me the warranty claim was denied. Now somebody else is following up, I guess, to tell me the warranty claim was denied. It's like, it's such stupid. So, you know, Mariner Sales, they have a physical location down there in Dallas, Texas, a physical store. But they also have an online website, which is where I had bought the motor from. But I mean, it was just total junk. And when I did a little deep dive on that motor, that's when I found that, like, you could buy them on Temu. And if you bought like 10 of them, you get them for $50. And so FPV's buying those motors, modifying them, putting on the variable speed control and the switches and all that. But when you look at the motor itself and the reviews of it, everybody's got the same problems. After a few trips, water gets inside there and freezes everything up. Like, it's a known issue. Nothing to do with me extending the battery cables, but they said I modified the motor, so therefore they don't have to honor the warranty claim. And I thought, what a lousy company that is, to get all ticky-tacky with something like that. I mean, I would never spend any major money at Mariner Sales, because, I mean, if you bought a $3,000 kayak down there, maybe a $4,000 or $5,000 kayak with the way prices are these days, and you had an issue that needed warranty assistance, man, if they're going to deny me over such a petty thing, over a product that they maybe have, what, $100 or so in wholesale costs? Because, I mean, it was a cheap motor. I bought it on sale, but it was like $200 something. So, I mean, they've probably got $150 wholesale in that thing. Like, if they're going to be that way with me over an inexpensive item, imagine how they're going to be on a kayak that, yeah, you pay $4,000 retail for, but they've probably got $1,500, $2,000 in wholesale costs. Like, you think they're going to honor that, or are they going to try to dick you out of it? I wouldn't take the chance. I mean, it's your money. You do what you want. But I'll never spend another penny at Mariner Sales again. Worst kayak dealer I've ever dealt with. You know, but anyway, I got off on the side note there because I think about how bad I hate Mariner Sales. But the point is, like, we have motor options available for kayaks now, but they're just, Your better quality brands like your Minn Kotas and your Garmins, etc., they're really expensive and they're heavy. You're adding 30, 40 pounds minimum plus your battery to the kayak, which is also going to add some weight. Or if you go the lightweight route, you got to worry about quality issues, like the FPV lasted maybe 10 trips before it crapped out. Right now I've got this Texas power paddle motor. That's what that little knob is right there. I've got it mounted to my rudder back there. It's a real small motor. It's only 15-pound thrust. So, I mean, if you had a big, heavy kayak, you ain't going to get very much speed. And this Hobie Lynx, because it's so lightweight and paddleboard kind of hull design, I get 3.5-ish miles an hour if I'm just running the motor. Or if I pedal with it, I can get 4.5 miles an hour. So you're not winning any races, but it is nice if you're dealing with current or if you're going, a long extended distance. It can be nice to have. The battery's small, sits up under the seat. So far, so good with it. I've had it now, I got it in March. After the whole debacle with Mariner Sales, I bought the Texas Power Paddle. So, I mean, we're looking at about 3 months now. I've not had any issues with it yet. We'll see. We'll see how long it lasts. So far, so good. Time will tell. It's kind of expensive for what it is. You could probably buy the parts and build it cheaper. Because Texas Power Paddle, they're taking a motor, I think it's called Blue Water Robotics. Something with blue and something with robots is in the name. But anyway, the company makes those motors for underwater drones, like research drones and stuff. That's what those motors are for, but Texas Power Paddle has taken them and made them adaptable to either the rudder or, like in the Hobie kayaks here, they've got that transducer slot they can fit up in there. They've adapted that motor to that and kind of made their own brand around it. But, again, the quality of the motor, who knows? We'll see. The one thing I know for sure with what I do is if your product has a flaw, I'm going to find it. That's how, when it comes to these rods, getting these light tackle rods dialed in. When we went through the process with my Golly Whopper rod there, my signature series rod there at Catfish Club, it's like, if there's a problem with the product, I'm going to find it because of the volume of time I spend on the water. I'm not purposely trying to tear stuff up. I try to take care of, pay a lot of money for something, I want to take care of it. But the volume of use that items get with me, if they're cheaply made, if they're not built to last, we're going to figure it out fast. And we ran into that with the Motor Guide, that Motor Guide XI3. I've got one right now on my Hobie Pro Angler kayak at home. I've had all kinds of issues. I've had multiple GPS units in it, multiple remotes. I'm on my second motor because the other one got water in the housing there. The seal broke. They're not built to run forever. They're built for the average person to get a few years of use out of it. And the average person is going to fish how many days a year? Maybe a couple days, maybe a Saturday and Sunday during the warm months. So that's what they're designing those motors to last the average person a reasonable amount of time. But if you're somebody like me and you're on the water a lot more, you're fishing a lot more frequently, you're going to, whatever number of trips those things are designed to last for, I'm going to hit that much quicker than, say, the average person that's fishing 1 or 2 days a week. So I'm going to find those flaws. Not going looking for them, but I'm just going to stumble into them. I'm going to figure it out. And, I'm hoping the next 2 or 3 years we're going to see more innovation, more lighter weight motor options for kayaks, and the more competition there is in that space, it's going to force companies to make better quality products. They're either going to make better quality for cheaper prices, or they're going to get left behind. You can have expensive products if it's great quality, but you can't charge an arm and a leg for junk and stick around. Like, you're going to get a quick payday, and then you're going to be gone. This fish, he better not be gone. He's tugging on it here. If we got, yeah, we got him. We got us another one, folks. Took a little while. He's on there. He's ready to play. He feels pretty good. Maybe it's just, he might just feel good because it's been a minute since we reeled one in. I feel like we've had a little bit of a break here. Am I imagining that? Maybe I've just gotten impatient. We were reeling them in pretty good there for a little while, and I may be just impatient. I'm impatient, like waiting on Walmart to put out the new wrestling figures. I'm impatient, buddy. I want what I want, and I want it now. I'm also after Target right now, too. Let me tell you that here in a minute. Y'all don't give a damn about me talking about action figures. You're here for fishing, but I'm gonna tell you something about action figures in a minute and what I'm looking for currently. Hell, some of y'all might could help me out with it, actually. They're statistically speaking, I should have brought this up earlier in the video when people are still watching. Some of you all out there might work at Target and could help me out, because I need help with something. I need help landing this fish here first. He ain't fighting much, is he? He's kind of been an odd fight. Come on over here, fish. You ain't bad quality, but you ain't been as good a fight. Okay, now he wants to play a little bit. He ain't been as good a fight as some of the others, I'll tell you that. But it ain't a bad fish. Not bad at all. This one ain't got much weight to it, but he's long. He's tore that bait up too. That rod on the right got hit a couple taps too. We'll go ahead in a second and reel it in and just switch out the bait if it needs it. Probably does at this point, because it's, with them shad being a little older, they're gonna tear easier. Give me that hook, fish. Boy, them catfish mouths are like leather, buddy. The hook goes in and can't hardly get it out. Here, I'll give this some front camera time. He's worthy of it. He's got at least some length to him. Oh, well, he slapped me good too, didn't he? Yeah, a long skinny fish on this one. He ain't got much going on there on his, no, don't do it, fish, don't do it. You danged old thing, get out of here. So you could have knocked the camera off. How bad would that be if he knocked the camera off? That could have been a disaster. That'd be terrible. Drive 8 hours to Ohio, lose 2 days worth of video footage. That'd be awful. I didn't bring a computer with me up here, so if that camera goes overboard, and of course you're seeing this video, it didn't, but if it went overboard, I'd lose 2 days of footage. Can't be having that. Okay. Let's grab our shad here again. I'll tell you what, let's try a body section on one and maybe a head bait there on the other. We'll at least put that out there and try it. See how it does. And then I'm gonna see if anybody in the audience here maybe has a Target connection. Maybe you work at Target. Maybe you got a family member or a friend or somebody you know works at Target and can help me out. I'm on the hunt for something. Right now, I got to get this bait on, though. We got to prioritize here. Let's do the head bait on this rod. There we go. All right. Cast that out. Let that sink down. Again, 13.6 feet where we're anchored today. I think yesterday I think it was like 14 feet yesterday. I don't know if the water level changed or if we're just different. I mean, there's no way we got exactly where we were anchored at yesterday, but still, it's comparable depth. That bait actually still looks pretty good, just ain't been eating for us. So let's replace it there with a body section. Let's see what that'll do. All right. So anyway, y'all, here's what I'm looking for. You know me, I'm going through a midlife crisis. The last couple years, I've been into some action figures, specifically two types of action figures I've been most into. WWE Superstars, which is the Walmart exclusive. And then recently I've gotten into the LJN figures, which is a Target exclusive. And the LJNs, man, those were the first wrestling figures I had as a kid. Like early 80s. Man, those things were... It's one of my earliest childhood memories, actually. Waking up Christmas morning and I walk out and Santa Claus had set up the ring and had all the wrestlers around the ring. It was great. Man, I had Hulk Hogan, Iron Sheik, Hillbilly Jim, Junkyard Dog. Man, it's one of my earliest memories. I have no idea exactly how old I was or what year that was, but I mean, it's one of those things in my mind that I can remember. So anyway, the toy company Mattel, I guess, either bought LJN or got the rights or license or whatever. So they started making those figures again this past year. And I was going to not get them. I was fighting the urge, man. I wasn't going to do it. And then my wife got me Series 1 for Christmas. And I opened them up. I'm holding them in my hands. I'm smelling them. Bring back that nostalgia, you know, and I'm hooked. So then Series 2 comes out. She gets me those for my birthday. Well, now I'm fully invested. You know, here we are now. I'm collecting the damn LJN figures. So Target, again, they're a Target exclusive figure. You can only buy them there. And recently, when Series 2 got restocked, like they had the first wave of them come out, they sold out. Now they've recently gotten some more in. Some Targets are getting a display. It's an LJN cardboard display. They're putting it on their end cap on the end of an aisle, and it's probably 4 foot, 6 foot tall, somewhere in that range, and it's got slots for the figures to set there in the packages on the end cap, right? I want one of those cardboard displays for my office. Like, I want the end cap display. And so I thought, like, if I could find a Target local to me that had one of those displays, maybe I could sweet talk one of the little cashier girls to let me have that thing. Because, I thought they're just going to throw them away. Like, whenever they redo the toy aisle, they'll just take those displays and throw them in the garbage, throw them in the compactor, whatever. So I've been on the look. My Targets back home, they don't have that display. I stopped at a Target up here yesterday afternoon when I got done fishing. They didn't have it. They had some of the LJN figures. They were hanging on the peg. They didn't have the display. And I was talking to my wife last night. My wife scored big while I've been up here, folks. She's into Legos. And they apparently just recently come out with some new Lego sets. Like, she likes the Lego flowers. And she had been looking for some water lily set. They were hard to find. She hadn't been able to find them at home. I found them. I stopped at one of the Walmarts there yesterday. I stopped at 2 Walmarts and Target yesterday. One of them had 5 of those water lily sets. So I bought her 2. And so she scored big. But anyway, she went to Target yesterday back home. And she's more social than I am. She went and found one of the people there, work there, and asked them about the display. And she got some pretty good information about it. So the guy, first off, the guy went to the back to look to see if he had it. They did not have that display out in the toy department, but the guy she was talking to said he knew exactly what she was talking about and he had seen it. So he goes back and looks for it, he don't find it. And he said, I think they've already sent it back. And so she got him talking more about that. And so apparently what happens with those displays, they don't throw them away. Well, they might throw some of them away, but they're not supposed to. Apparently what happens is when they're done, they're supposed to send them back to the toy company. So he said what happens is, like in their store, they didn't put out that display. So he said he remembered seeing it, but he said probably what happened was, since their LJN figures just went on the pegs there at the store, he said they probably just sent it back a day or 2 later. So he said the best bet would be to find a smaller Target in the area, because they would be most likely to have that display out, which I don't know what he meant by small Target, and she didn't either. Because, I mean, all our Targets back home they're bigger. I mean, they've got like the grocery store side and then the regular merchandise side. So I don't know. Maybe some smaller Targets are out there. But I've seen pictures online in the action figure groups. Like people have gotten these displays. They've been able to take them home. I don't know if they're paying somebody off in the store. Like, I would pay somebody. Like, if you get me some Target associate, I'll give them $50 if they'll get me that display. Or any of you all out there, listen to this. If you work at Target or know somebody does, if you can get me that display, I'll give you $50 for it. I'd just like to have it in my office. It would be perfect. I've got a little wall in my office at home there. It's a bedroom, spare bedroom. I've turned into an office. But there's like a section of wall between the door and the closet. I think that display would be perfect. And I would like to set that there, because the cardboard display, it looks like the packaging for the LJN figures. Like, it looks amazing. I would like to have that. And, you know, I mean, even if it's true, if they're sending it back to Mattel, what's Mattel going to do with it? When they get thousands of these cardboard displays back from Targets all over the country, where are they go? They're going to throw them away. They're going to trash them, recycle them, whatever. Like, I'd like to have that. I would make use of that. That would be a nice display there in my office. So, hopefully one of you all out there either works at Target or knows somebody that does and can hook me up before they all end up sent back or in a compactor. Because I would definitely like to get one before they do. But it's one of them things, like, I don't know who makes the decision whether that end cap is going to get put out or not. Like, one of the local Targets at home, they have another WWE display, a cardboard display, but it's for the Ultimate figures, for that style. So I don't know, does Mattel send them a display with every shipment, and then it's up to the store to decide whether or not they're going to put it out? Or are they required? So many Targets have to display the cardboard setup? I don't know. I'm not in that world. I'm just a consumer that can't ever find the damn figures in the stores. That's what I am. But I'd like to have that thing. So if any of y'all got a hookup, let me know. Reach out. I can provide some cash in exchange for it, if need be. But yeah, I stopped yesterday. I got done fishing. I went to 2 different Walmarts and the Target. And, of course, I was able to find the wife's toys. I just couldn't find mine. I found a couple of the Masters of the Universe, the miniatures, the Mighty Masters. I found a couple Beastman that I'm going to list on eBay. They're, it ain't much. Like, they're $5 in the store. You can sell them for about $15 right now on eBay. So, you know, it ain't a huge profit, but I'm like, hell, that's a free $5 bill sitting there right on the shelf just waiting for me to take it. So I snatched those up. But I didn't find anything that I was looking for. I didn't find them Superstars figures. And of course, I saw some of the LJNs there at the Target, but I already got those. At least, I will say this, between Target and Walmart, at least Target's distribution is better on their exclusives. Like, the Walmart being an exclusive for them Superstars figures has been a disaster. I mean, right now, Series 18 just came out. I still can't find Series 16 that came out last fall. Like, Walmarts are just now starting to, there's people in the nerd groups on Facebook, they're just now posting that they're finding Series 16 that came out last fall. They came out like 8 months ago. Walmarts are just now putting them out on the shelf. So Series 18 that's being released now, when are we going to get those in Walmarts? Next spring? And, you know, you can go ahead and get them now if you want to pay scalper fees on eBay, or you want to order them from overseas. And and this is so stupid, I've strongly considered lately ordering them from overseas. You're going to pay a premium because, first off, they're more expensive. And I don't know if they're more expensive over there because of it's in England, the store that has them. So is it like a dollar conversion thing where you have to pay more? I don't know. Or they just hire over there? I don't know. But then you got to pay the shipping to get it here, which is ridiculous. And then you got to pay, I don't know if it's like tariffs or surcharges or whatever. You got to pay all that. So it ends up, if you find the figure in the store, it's $20 plus tax. You're looking at $22 and change. If you order it from overseas, by the time you pay shipping and tariffs and all that crap, you're looking at about $43 a figure. Now, the thought of spending $43 on a damn action figure is repulsive to me. Repulsive. I don't want to do it. But I like these figures a lot. And here's the thing. Yes, if I can find them in the local Walmarts, it costs me $22 each. But I can't ever find them. You know how many Walmart, and I hate going to Walmart. I was pretty much done with Walmart before I got my midlife crisis going and I got into these figures. But I mean, you spend so much time and so much money on fuel going to these extra Walmarts to only come up empty-handed. It's like, what is the actual cost? Like, yes, it's $22 out of pocket when I find the figures. But how much money and time did I spend before I found them? And is it that much less than just spending $43 to buy them overseas and get them as soon as they come out? I've been strongly considering it. I'm back and forth on it every day. Some days I'm like, I would never do that. And other days I'm like, I've been to 10 different Walmarts and ain't found them. How much fuel have I spent? You know, with gas prices as high as they've been, like, it's the costs keep adding up, you know. So I don't know. Maybe I convert and start ordering them as soon as they come out and not having to go to Walmart again. And it's weird too, like, when I say these things are Walmart exclusive or Target exclusive, that only applies to the United States. Outside of the United States, they're available in other stores like the LJN figures. You can get those at Walmart in Canada. But here in America, it's Target only. So, you know, it's just, it shouldn't be that damn hard to get a toy. At least my wife was easy to find. She's into her Legos. I just can't get into that. When I buy a toy, I want it to already be built for me. I don't want to have to build it. But she likes sitting there doing it. I'll tell you what started, and I think I've told you all this before maybe. This might be a rerun. But my wife, she took one of the bedrooms at the house to kind of make herself like a room, you know, basically like a place to store her stuff and her trinkets, mainly her books. My wife reads a ton. She's a nerd when it comes to that. So she has a bunch of books. And for some reason, she feels compelled to keep her books after she's done. Even though she'll never read them again, she keeps them. I guess she has certain authors she likes, and I think she's more of a book collector. She loves reading books, but I think she kind of collects books too. So a few months ago, she bought some shelves from Target and put in that room to store her books on. And the shelves were kind of, I mean, it's that cheap stuff. You know the type of furniture I'm talking about there. Like, we got something happening here with this left rod. Let me pick up on that. He may, no, he don't have it. Let's check our bait. He hit it a few times there. He may have either stripped the bait or ruined it. Yeah, he's ruined it. He didn't strip it clean, but he's destroyed that thing. You tell these fish, folks, if they're going to eat a bait, eat the daggone thing. Don't toy around with it down there. Don't nibble on it. Eat it. Send this one out. I don't think our one on the right's been hit yet. That's the body piece on the right, so we'll leave it be for now. Let's send this back out. There we go. Tell you what else let's do too while we're at it. Well, we got this bag of shad sitting right here. Let's just, because I feel like our bite's kind of slowed down a little bit. Let's take some of this mess and just do like we did earlier. Kind of snip some of them up and chum the water a little bit. Some of these smaller ones here, we probably don't even need to snip them. They're already falling apart. That'll get us some scent here in the water. Be careful not to snip my finger off while I'm doing it. That'll give us some extra oil, blood, all that out there, and maybe draw some more fish in that are maybe close by, but not where our baits are at. We're gonna, like I said, we're gonna toss out these shad when I leave today anyway, so we're not gonna burn through the rest of this bag nohow. We might as well get some use out of them while we're sitting here. Hell, I don't know that you all want to watch me snipping these things, but the camera angle there, I don't know if you could see it anyway. I don't know if chumming's legal in Ohio or not. So we're not technically chumming right now. We're just tossing out our bait. just to be all technical about it and stuff. Know what I mean, Vern? I don't know the rules on that. Any catfishman, you're going to toss your bait out in the water when you're done. So we're done with that bait, and we're just tossing it out. It just so happens we're still fishing here while we're doing it. All right. I know this, though, for sure. The shad sure outperformed the chicken today. So much so that we switched it over pretty quickly. All right, we're back in the game. What was I saying about my wife there? Oh, the Target shelves. So she bought them shelves at Target, in which, you know, I think most of you all out there have probably at some point in your life bought some cheap furniture, bookshelves, whatever, from a Target, a Walmart, a Big Lots type place. So anyway, she gets that stuff, and she got several bookshelves. And personally, I don't like doing that kind of stuff. I don't like building. I mean, a few years back, I got a new bed and a new dresser for the bedroom off Amazon. And I had to put all that crap together. And man, it was just a lot of cuss words said, because I just hate doing that stuff. The instructions are always terrible, and it's time consuming. I just don't like it. It ain't my thing. But my wife, she gets these shelves from Target, and she's putting them together, and she's having a great time with it. Like, she enjoys doing that. And so I got some new shelves for my office, and she wanted to put them together for me. Like, she just genuinely enjoys it. She says she likes the sense of accomplishment. She's following instructions, and she's completing steps on the instructions, and she enjoys it. And of course, she's on the social media, TikTok there, scrolling around. She sees people putting together Legos after all this. And anyway, she decides, I'm going to get a Lego set. Because it's kind of the same thing on a smaller scale, right? You're following instructions. You're building something. You're working through steps. You're completing a project when you're done. And so she got a Lego set and tried it, and she loved it. And so now she does that all the time. She sits there and puts together her Legos. And she's been really into the flower sets, and she finally got the Beauty and the Beast castle thing. Like, I was going to get it for her. It's an expensive thing. I was going to wait till like a birthday or a special occasion type thing. But she ended up, her and her friend went down to, they were on a shopping trip, girls trip. They found a Lego store, and so she ended up getting it there. But when I found the one she wanted last night, I went ahead and got those. But like, this fish hits the left rod's already getting hit there. But I can't personally do Legos. Like, I don't have the patience. And even when I was a kid, like I never had a Lego set as a kid. I had them generic Legos where you could just kind of put them together. But I was never creative enough to really do anything with them. For me, it was just something to leave on the floor for my parents to step on type thing. I was never any good at it. I was always an action figure kind of kid. That's what I liked, man. I had other types of toys. I had video games, that type of stuff. But I liked, as a kid, man, it was G.I. Joes, Ninja Turtles, wrestling figures. Like, that was my main thing as a kid. And when I hit my midlife crisis and started going through my second childhood here we go again, Thankfully, he's after it. Thankfully, Hasbro, which makes the G.I. Joes, thankfully I've gotten away from that. I was really into them a couple years ago, but I had some quality issues. Some of the figures was kind of loose in the joints, and it was hard for them to stand up on a shelf because they were so loose. And so I was able to justify that in my mind to not buy those anymore. Although that new hooded Cobra Commander figure just come out. I saw the pre-order for it anyway, and so I'm tempted on that one, but I'm trying not to because I don't want to go back down that rabbit hole. I ended up selling off the G.I. Joe Classifieds that I'd bought to make room for the other figures. But I'm all in on these WWE Superstars figures. The Superstars and the LJN, those two lines, I'm all about it. So, yeah, that's my midlife crisis, y'all. This fish is gonna have a midlife crisis if he don't stop chewing up that bait. I'm curious to see when we threw out them shad a minute ago. I'm gonna be real curious to see if that will get the bite going again. We've kind of tapered off a little bit in the bite, and the same thing happened yesterday. You know, yesterday and today's been almost identical, honestly. Now, yesterday, of course, we started out dragging for the first hour yesterday, whereas today I anchored as soon as we got out here. But it took an hour yesterday morning before the bite really got going, and then today we got bit right away, but then we had a break there before the next fish come along, and it was really about an hour into the trip where it kind of started to get going. And then yesterday, man, we had like 2 hours of pretty consistent bites, and then it kind of tapered off in that last hour. And here we are again today. Now, I don't think we haven't caught as many fish today as we did yesterday. I don't think. I didn't count yesterday or today. But still, we're kind of in that time period. We're at that point in the morning where yesterday the bite kind of tapered. And, you know, that's one of the things that I just don't know. Like, are the fish still there? And we've gone through the feeding window and it's over, or did they move and they're gone? And if so, where did they go? Because, you know, yesterday afternoon when I come back after lunch, and I didn't, you know, I probably spent too much time on the other side of that bridge yesterday. I'd got on some fish over there a couple years ago, but I was in my other kayak with the other graph, and I didn't have the location marked, so I couldn't find, because it's just wide open water over there, but there was some underground or underwater, like rock pile or debris, something was piled up over there that I'd found. And it had fish on it there a couple years ago. I was trying to make my way back over there to it, but I mean, it's a needle in the haystack trying to find it without a GPS mark there on your map card, which my map card here, it don't work up here. We found that out yesterday. Sandusky Bay is apparently not on that version of the map card that I have on this particular graph. So surprise, we've just got, we basically know our depth and our speed. That's what we know with this graph while we're up here, which has been fine. I mean, it's been plenty, all we need. But anyway, I spent too much time over there yesterday afternoon. But I mean, I did catch some more fish, but I just couldn't replicate the kind of bite we had yesterday morning or the type of bite that we've had this morning. So, or now our right rod. Just a tug. Let's see if he's back. They're just chewing up in baits, folks. Dang old bait stealer. This is what the channel cats back home do to me. I'll tell you something funny though. Well, it wasn't funny to me yesterday. I said cuss words, but you might find it amusing. So I was going under the bridge, and he might have it this time. Hold on. Yeah, he does have it. We got another solid hook. Oh, no, he's on there. He's on there. I thought he let it go. This is on the body section. I don't think he's going to be very big, though. It's nice to get another solid hookup anyway. We had gotten accustomed there to reeling them in pretty quickly, and this setting and waiting, it's easier to do when you ain't getting bit nonstop. But when you start getting bit consistently and then it stops, it's harder to sit there. But for no more longer than we're going to fish, I really don't, at this point, I don't want to pull anchor. I pull anchor, we're getting the heck out of here. We're going to ride, we've done well enough here, we're just going to ride this out until it's quitting time. I'm probably going to fish maybe another hour here. We'll go to the battery craps out on us here on this camera and battery pack setup. I usually get about 4 hours or so of run time. This fish may end up being bigger than I initially thought. He might surprise us here, folks. He's not made super hard runs, but he's staying down. He may turn out to be a good surprise. Yeah, he's bigger than I initially thought. That's a fact. You get him over here, you net him for me, okay? He's another one of them old butt face ones too. Look, he's got the damn butt cheeks on his head. Come on over here, kitty. Got him. On that shad body section. Yeah, this one, that's a much better fish, folks, than I thought it was going to be initially when I first picked up on that rod. Yeah, that's a welcome surprise. He's got a little weight on him too. It's another 30+ inch fish. We have gotten a bunch in the last 2 days, man, a bunch of 30 inch plus fish. I still think that one we got here this morning was the biggest of the trip. There we go. Let's get rid of that. And I will allow you some front camera time, Channel Cat. Let's make his day, folks. It's what we do. Got kind of a short tail, kind of hefty. That dang net isn't going to be in the frame, but there he is. Nice. Yeah. We'll take it, man. We had a little bit of a lull, but we can still bust a fish like that. Not too bad. Not too shabby. Lord, net, buddy. 1 hour away, folks, from never using that net again. I ought to just leave this damn thing up here. My gift to Ohio, a lousy net. Let's stick us another body piece. Let's do that. Let's get another midsection here. We'll just take this one. Maybe snip the tail and we'll save that head. We might need that here in a little while. Hopefully need it anyway. Yeah, we'll see if them other shad we let go out there a little while will conjure us up some fish. We've got some water movement. I can see the current. You can see the stuff going by on the water here, the dead bugs and stuff. Like we've got some flow. Our scent's going to get dispersed. So anyway, let me finish my story. You all might enjoy this. Some of you like for me to do stupid stuff. Thankfully, I didn't film myself doing this. Thankfully this happened after I was done filming yesterday, but I done something really dumb, y'all. So I'm going under the bridge, and this guy in a boat starts hollering at me. I mean, like right as I'm about to go under the bridge, he starts hollering and pointing at me. And my dumb ass thinks it's a fan, like a viewer of the channel that's recognized me. But I'm already, like, I'm about to go under the bridge, like I'm committed, so I just wave at him. Well, guess what? He wasn't hollering at me because he was a fan of the channel. He was hollering at me because my dumb ass had my rods standing up behind me in the rod holders, and I clipped them on the bridge. It's a wonder I didn't break both of these rod tips off, because I was smacking them on the concrete the whole way through the through the damn bridge. What a stupid thing. I wasn't even thinking about it. And anyway, he's there hollering at me, trying to warn me before I go under the bridge, but I'm thinking he's just a fan. I'm waving like, hey, thanks for watching the videos. And all of a sudden, bam, you hear the rods hitting the damn concrete. Well, that'd have been something. If I'd broke the rods, we wouldn't have been fishing today. I broke both them rods. But yeah, that was one of those goof. I'm glad he didn't know me from YouTube, because that would have been even more embarrassing. People think I'm all knowing what I'm doing and professional and stuff, and you do something stupid in front of an audience, it'd be even more embarrassing. By God, and I'd like to say it's the first time it's happened up here. I'd like to say it's the first time I've ever done that before, but it ain't. I've had other low-hanging bridges that I've clipped rods on. I've broke rods like that before too. Thankfully, these didn't break. That was kind of a fear coming out here this morning too. I thought, boy, if I've cracked them or something, we might could snap one of these things potentially on a fish, and it really be the bridge that done it. But we've caught enough fish now, and I caught enough fish after that too. It probably should have showed itself if we had any major damage other than just my pride and ego. It definitely took a hit after that. Caught, you know how it is. You catch a bunch of fish, especially if you're catching them in a place that you haven't fished very much, or a different body of water, driven a long way. You catch a bunch of fish, you feel accomplished. You're like, yeah, I am competent. I know what I'm doing. And then you do something stupid like that. It's a blow to the ego for sure. But it wasn't the first stupid thing I've done in front of people. It won't be the last. We live to tell the tale. It's been a good trip overall, man. I don't like the drive. I never like the drive anywhere. But once I get somewhere, the trip always gets a little better. And this has been an overall good trip. My stay at the Comfort Inn could have been better, but the fishing part, man, we've caught a bunch of fish the last 2 days and got some big fish. And to do that granted, I've been here a few times now over the last 3 or 4 years. I can't remember exactly when I come up here first. I think it was 2023 or 2024, first time I come up here. But I've been coming back ever since then, and so I got a little bit of experience on the water, but I don't know this place that well. But every time I've come up here, I've caught several fish and gotten some big fish. Last year in the tournament, I finished 4th place. Now I finished 4th place right here on this spot. I was dragging that day. I was going back and forth between the 2 pieces of land that stick out here. But every pass, I'd bust a big fish. Ended up getting 4th place. So, I feel I feel pretty good about coming up here. Like, I feel like, even though it's a long drive, I feel like it's going to be worthwhile to come up here. But I've enjoyed the fishing part the last 2 days. I'm kind of dreading the drive home here in an hour. I'm hoping, man, if we can just get through like Dayton and Cincinnati before rush hour, then maybe by the time I get back to Knoxville, rush hour will be over there. And maybe I can just make it all the way through the interstate, all the way home, without any major hiccups or slowdowns. That's probably asking a lot. We'll see how it goes. Next trip up will probably either be coming back up here for the tournament. That's a maybe. I would say right now, probably 50-50 chance. If the weather ain't looking good, it's an automatic no. Because I'd like to fish 2 days. I'm going to come up here. If I'm going to drive this far, I want to fish 2 days at least. I don't want to drive up the day before the tournament, fish the tournament, and drive home that night. I guess that's 16 hours of driving for a few hours of fishing. Like, that's not worth it. So we'll see what the weather's going to do and make a decision from there. I want to try to go to Louisiana again this year. That's going to come up at some point. That'll happen, I mean, barring any setbacks or emergencies. This fish is going to have an emergency if he don't. Has he got it? Yeah, he's got it. We got another one. Oh, no, yep, he's on there. It was a light tug. I wasn't sure if he was going to stay hooked. I thought he might just have the bait or something, but apparently he's got it. That's another one that don't feel very big, but the last one didn't either, and it ended up surprising me. It ended up being a pretty good quality fish for one that didn't start out feeling as such. So we'll see when we get this one up here and get a look at him. Okay, let's take a peek. Oh, yeah, this is a small one. This one looks like he felt. He looks exactly like he felt. Let's see if we can get this one without the net. Let's see if we can maybe boat lift this one in. We'll maybe be playing with fire here with this lighter line. If he thrashes as we go to try to pull him up. Yeah, it worked out. Shows you how bad I hate that damn net. I'd rather break my line than pull that net out for this fish. This one here is small and spotted and yellow. Try to hold you in the light best I can there, fish. You're welcome. Enjoy your camera time. Tell all your friends and family about it. Get that head that we cut off of that last fish. Well, we'll just take this one. Set here. At least today, the size of the bait hasn't seemed to matter as much. Whereas yesterday, it seemed like we had to use the small to get the most action. That small shad we've got left in there, they're just at this point pretty much mush. They've seen better days. Yeah, I'd like to go down to Louisiana. I'd really like to go, I want to go down there before my Florida trip, for sure. But I'd like to have these light tackle rods done. I'd like to have a finished product. And I don't know if that's going to be possible or not, because we've just had one setback after another with these things. The design process is, man, it's like building Legos. Like, it's just one of them things I ain't built for. I want my fishing rods like I want my action figures, ready to play with as soon as I get them. But I'm hoping when we get the finished product, I'd like to take off, go to Louisiana, and bust some big fish with them. And maybe go down and do some saltwater fishing while I'm there too. And then in November, I'll go back to the Keys. I'll go back to Florida. And I'll be down there for 2 weeks, maybe a little longer. And then we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I may go back again down there in the winter. Part of me, if my wife's job was mobile, and it's not, unfortunately, she has to go into the office. She's got a normal corporate job. If she was more mobile, I would just live in Florida half the year at this point. At some point in the next probably 10 years or so, me and her are going to move to Florida. But in the meantime, I would love to just spend the winter there. That would be the best case scenario all the way around. Spend summers in Tennessee and winters in Florida. But I would go ahead and just spend the winter there now. But she can't go, and I don't want to leave her for that many months. But I may make another trip down there later on in the winter after that too. But that's my main trips coming up here this year, is maybe come back up here again for the tournament, go to Louisiana, go to the Keys, and maybe make another trip to Florida at some point. That's kind of what I'm thinking. And there may be some other random trip that I do, like a lesser distance type thing. I want to go hit Reelfoot Lake at some point. That's actually about 6 hours for me. That's a little bit longer. I may go back down to Alabama at some point. That's about 4 hours. Probably need to make a trip down Chattanooga again. Fish with Daniel there on Nickajack. So, there are going to be some other, lesser distance road trips. But as far as, committing to a trip, somewhere where I'm going to be a while, Louisiana and Florida for sure this year. So I'd like to, when these rods are finished, when we get the finished product, I'd love to take them down there to Louisiana. Really catch some huge fish with them, if I can anyway. Louisiana is a interesting fishery, especially when you get down there around Venice, man. Venice is interesting because you're kind of near that salt line, and it can fluctuate depending on the tides and all that. So you'll have a variety of fish down there. You can catch some freshwater fish like huge blue cats, and you can also catch some sharks all in the same damn place. So I'd like to spend a little bit more time fishing down there in the Venice area. And of course, I'd stop off there in the Norco area too to do some more catfishing there. That's where I won that tournament at down there a couple years ago. Caught some big blues drifting on the Mississippi there. I was anchored there that day, but if we'll go back, I'd like to do some drifting, do some more drift fishing, cover some more water down there. So I've got some stuff I want to do, but also too, I'm kind of and maybe some of y'all can relate to this. It's like sometimes the fantasy's better than the reality. I enjoy fishing new places and being on the water, new places. But getting there, the drive, and then also too, just being away from home, I'm kind of a homebody. I kind of enjoy being home, and You know, of course, I can't tell my wife this, but I'd miss her if I was away from her a long time. But don't boost her ego by telling her that, though, folks. But, you know, I'm just kind of a homebody. It's mainly just the travel. Just get, like, today, the 8-hour daggone drive that'll, at some point, I'm going to hit traffic, or there'll be a wreck, or some construction, and, you know, it's just, but once you're there, like once I'm here, once I'm in Sandusky, and now we're out here on the water, great. Just getting here and getting home. So, but nevertheless, we'll knock out a couple more trips this year, big adventures, and then we'll have some smaller adventures in places closer to home. And yeah. I'd like to have an adventure with another fish or two here before we wrap it up. You think we will? I don't know if we will or not. Let's give it another 20, 30 minutes. See what happens. I think we're just at that point in the day. You know, the same thing happened yesterday. Just the bite it just fizzled. Like yesterday we had about 2 hours of solid action. The first hour and the last hour was a bust yesterday. The middle 2 hours of the morning there was great. And it seems to be the same thing happened today. We had a slow start today, kinda. I mean, we got that fish first thing, and then we had a little lull before the bite kind of got going. And it went pretty good for about 2 hours there. And now this final hour's kind of been, we're crossing the finish line on fumes. So, either way, I'm going home happy. When we got one hitting that left rod now. I'm going home happy today when we leave. I mean, now we got one on the right rod hitting. Musical rods here. Maybe I'm conjuring this one up. Just the volume of fish alone is enough to make the trip worthwhile up here, but the quality of fish that we've had too has been, I'm very pleased. I'm very pleased with it. Hopefully you all have enjoyed the adventure too. I try to, when I do these unedited trips, man, I like to bring you here for the journey, you know, for the trip. You'll see everything from me catching fish, catching snags, getting the net hung and literally everything it could be hung in. I mean, that net. Thankfully, I didn't throw away the other net. I still got it there at the house. So we'll go back to using it. It's much more manageable in the kayak. It's just when we get those. What made me want to get this net was for the long blues. I'm talking 40-inch plus fish. My other nets, I think it's 20 or 24 inches deep. So, I mean, if you get a blue cat that's 40 to 45 inches long, it's got some weight to it. It can be hard to get the whole fish in the net when you're trying to raise it up in the kayak. Now, this net here don't have any problem with that because it's 48 inches deep. So, like, we can get the whole fish in there easily. But it's just the diameter of the space in between the net that catches everything. So, we'll go back to the old net. I think when I'm going to get back. I mean, if all goes well today, I'm going to get back at a reasonable hour. But I'll probably still take tomorrow off from fishing so that I can get these videos done. I'm filming. I discussed this a little bit yesterday, which was in the last video, but I've been trying out some different cameras lately. I got the GoPro Mission 1, I had to return it. I got the DJI Action 6, I had to return it. Yesterday and today I'm filming with the DJI Action 5, which is okay, I think the video quality is good, but I have had two problems. One, the last time I'd used it at the beach, we had like a light sensor problem. It was, the light was going in and out on the video randomly. That was odd. I'm hoping that's not happened the last 2 days as I filmed. But the biggest inconvenience is the audio drift. So when I'm filming, let's say we fished 4 hours today, when we start the video and audio are in perfect sync. By the end of the trip, it's going to be off by a little bit. And so I have to go in on the computer and line everything up. And some editing programs I hear are pretty easy to do with that. I use iMovie, and it's not. It don't automatically sync all that stuff for you. So I have to kind of do that myself, and it's a pain in the ass. And then, of course, there's a time. It takes time too to get these video files to the computer, and then for the computer to save it, and then for it to upload. So I'll probably knock all that out tomorrow. Just get all the computer stuff done in one swoop. And then, of course, tomorrow's Friday. I don't typically like fishing the weekends at home because of all the boat traffic this time of year. But I may go do a carp trip at some point this weekend. I haven't looked at the weather that far ahead, but I may go do a carp trip either Saturday or Sunday and see what we can catch there. And we, of course, going carp fishing, we can hide from people. Even if it's a busy boat traffic day, we can get in the backwaters and hide. And, yeah, I mean, and look out here too, man. We're filming this here. I'm filming this on a Thursday morning. We've seen, what, 2 or 3 boats out here all morning? You come out here on a weekend, golly, boats everywhere. Fishing boats, pleasure boats, they're all over out here, y'all. It's just a different world during the week. I like doing my fishing during the week. Weekday mornings. So anyway, I'm going to do that. Me and the wife, we're going to go see the He-Man movie this weekend. I'm pretty pumped up about that. I hope it's good. I hope it's not a letdown. The one from the 80s, that movie was awful. Me and my wife, she had never seen it. So we watched it recently. And that's the first time I had watched it probably since I was a kid in the 80s. It was awful then. And it was still pretty awful now as an adult. Nothing changed. It was still the storyline actually from that original movie, the storyline wasn't bad. It was just, I think it was kind of a low budget deal, even for 1980s standards. And the fight scenes and the special effects, they just it left a little bit to be desired. I think the fight scenes and special effects in the new one is going to be outstanding. Will the storyline match up? We'll see. But I'm excited about it. The wife's excited about it. So, yeah. That's what we're going to do one night. I don't know if we'll do that. I don't know if we'll do that tomorrow night or Saturday night, but either way, that's kind of the next things on my agenda. And then next Monday, if weather allows, I'll get back to trying to catch some catfish at home. But with the spawn going on, man, you got to kind of temper expectations during the spawn. You can catch numbers of fish and occasionally bust a good quality one, but trips like we've had previously leading up to the spawn where I'm catching several big fish per trip, those days are pretty much over for a little while. We may have an occasional trip that's unusual and catch a few big ones, but for the most part, it's going to be a lot of dinks, which is where the light tackle shines, man. That's where we'll make those fish a lot more fun fishing with this lighter gear. But we'll get back to it. If weather allows, we'll get back to that on Monday. And I've stayed a few videos ahead, knock on wood. I've stayed a few videos ahead all spring and summer long here to this point, so even if I have a rough patch of fishing, we should stay on schedule with this stuff. I hope to, anyway. I don't like having schedule disruptions this time of year. In the winter time, I don't care so much, because, I mean, December, January, February, nobody's really watching kayak fishing videos anyway. I've got some of you all that are awesome. You're, you know, just for some reason like me, and you all will watch all winter long. So I keep making videos through the winter since, I mean, you all watch. But as far as like getting videos that do well, get a lot of views, that's tough in the winter. But in the summer, like right now, May, June, July, August, that's kind of my peak months for getting maximum views on my channel. Because I mean that's when most people, you get on YouTube, you're searching for stuff, you're searching for what you're actively interested in, right? Well, more people are interested in kayak fishing in the warm months than what they are in the winter. A lot of people don't kayak fish in the winter. Hell, a lot of people up north, the water's froze over in the winter. They can't even kayak fish. I mean, Sandusky Bay right here, this place freezes over every winter. You couldn't kayak fish here if you wanted to in the freezing cold. So, gotta take advantage as a YouTuber, somebody doing this crap as a job. I have to make sure I maximize my views and my video production in these warm summer months. And it's unfortunate that the catfish spawn happens during my peak view season. You know, I'd rather the peak views hit in the spring when I'm busting big fish every trip, it seems like. That's the time I'd like to be doing it. But that ain't how the cookie crumbles. So, 'tis what it is, as the saying goes. We'll do what we can with it. So anyhow, that's my plans, y'all. Fun and exciting. You know what else I've missed, though, being away from home? Aside from missing my wife, of course. I have to, you know, tell her I've missed her, number one. But you know what else I've missed? Because I didn't bring it with me. Mario Kart. I could have traveled with it. I'm so used to now, though. I've got my Nintendo, that Switch 2. I think it's a Switch 2. I've got it hooked up to my TV. So I play Mario Kart with a controller. And so switching back to the handheld feels weird now. So I didn't bring it with me up here. And I've played Mario Kart every day for months. So it's become part of my life. I tell my wife, this is my life's work, honey. Don't talk crap about it. So I'm kind of looking forward to playing them. I'm probably going to play tonight. I know that's silly. One of my channel members recently, his name's Larry, he suggested I try Minecraft. And I was like, okay, let me give it a shot. So I watched some YouTube videos. And I'm like, oh, hell no. This is like the online version of Legos. You got to build stuff. And I'm like, there's no way. There ain't no daggone way I could get into Minecraft. There's no way. Not my jam. I'll stick with Mario Kart till I find something better. Which I don't know if I will or not. That's the only game I found that I like. I tried that WWE. I got the 2K25 version when I got the Nintendo last year, but I tried it. I didn't really care for it. I got the, what's it called? Retro Wrestling? It's some kind of like arcade wrestling game. I tried it. I didn't care for it either. And then I got the Nintendo. When I paid the fee to be online and play against people online. They like come with the old Nintendo games you can tap into. So I play like Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, regular Mario occasionally and stuff, but like Mario Kart's what I play every day. Like that's, I mean, it's become it's really kind of, it's almost embarrassing how much I play. How many hours I've spent at this, playing this stupid game. I mean, I'm probably playing at least an hour every day, but some days, I mean, if it's a day where it's raining at the house, bad weather or something, I can't go fishing, and I don't have any video editing or computer stuff to do for YouTube, hell, I'll sit there and play all damn day. Like, you would think there'd be something better, more productive to do with my life and with my time, but I sit there and just play. And I take great joy when I win a race and beat little 8, 9-year-old kids probably. I take great joy in that because they normally kick my ass. Like these damn kids, man, they beat me like a drum all the time on there. I have gotten better at it though. I'm better than I used to be, but I still get beat on there quite a bit. But every once in a while, you'll be playing online and you'll be in a group of people that are just bad. They're just new, you know, they're not very good, and I'll dominate them. I'll wipe the floor with them. And it's a great feeling. It really boosts my pride and ego when that happens. It shouldn't, but it does. Kind of like when you do well in a fishing tournament. Does that make you a better fisherman than the other people you competed against? No. But you was better on that particular day. And by God, that's enough to boost the ego. For that one day, for that window of time during the tournament hours, you were better than everybody else. The thing about coming up here, though, and fishing a tournament is you could do really well, but if you're catching 32-inch fish and the next person's catching 33-inch fish, you both catching really great quality fish, but that incremental difference can put you from first place to out of the money. Like of the tournaments on the schedule over the last few years, like we've fished a bunch of different places, different bodies of water, etc. The tightest scores from first through 10th place even, the tightest scores always happen here on Sandusky, because this is the one body of water where everybody's going to get a limit. Like everybody's going to catch a limit of fish throughout the day. Everybody. Even the worst fisherman up here is still going to catch a limit. Whereas some bodies of water we go to, I mean, there's going to be some guys that get skunked. Or people that get maybe one fish or two fish. Like they're not going to have a limit at the end of the day. Up here, everybody catches a limit. It just comes down to, can you get the size of fish you need to put you at the top? You're going to get your fish. You're going to get some good fish even. But can you get those 35-inch fish versus 34-inch fish? That's the difference every time. So if I come back, hopefully we do. I don't know if I'll fish here. It would be nice to, but the amount of boat traffic that we're going to be dealing with all day long, and being right here between the two bridges, right here kind of in the middle between the two pieces of land that come out here, we're right in the damn boating zone trying to anchor here. So if I do come back, I'll probably bring my other kayak where I can have the GPS motor, spot lock. I probably would do that. So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I'll either be back or I won't. But we've had a hell of a good time the last 2 days here, whether it works out for me to come back or not. I think I'm gonna get out of here in a minute though, folks. My battery's showing red on the camera. We ain't got much longer on it. And we've went another good spell without even a tap at the baits. I think the bites just kind of petered out for now. At least on this spot. I don't know if they've just shut down or they've moved on. It could go either way. But here we are, not catching fish. Yeah, I think let me give me another swig of water here, and we're gonna, I try not to drink very much, because I don't want to be swallowing and slurping in this microphone. I really need to blow my nose too. I've needed to blow my nose for about 3.5 hours now. I don't want to do that on the microphone either, but I try to be as conscientious as I can about that kind of thing. But yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap it up, folks. I'm gonna reel up these lines, blow my nose, start the long drive back to Tennessee, take tomorrow off, get the video stuff done, and then weather allows, we'll try to maybe do a carp trip over the weekend, see the He-Man movie with the wife, and be back to catfishing again on Monday. I think that's the plan. All right, y'all. Well, I've probably got snot dripping from my nose right now, so let me wipe that before I turn the camera around on my face. I'll have to do this to film my face here so I can line up the damn audio, since it gets off kilter for some reason on these damn cameras. So now I can go to the end of the video and get everything done and make sure everything's synced appropriately. The stupid stuff you have to do because of technology. Technology makes our life so much easier in some ways and so much more difficult in others that don't make sense to me. But anyhow, y'all, thanks for coming with me on this Ohio road trip adventure. It's been a hell of a lot of fun. We've caught a lot of fish, some big ones. I'm going home happy, but I am going home. I'll see you back in Tennessee.